people.
Some attackers using scooters. Fox's Matt Finn in Tel Aviv.
Now, there are reports, and we have seen video of what appears to show Israeli fans chanting slurs against Arabs and ripping down Palestinian flags. The Palestinian Ministry of Foreign Affairs claims Israeli fans instigated last night. So it is possible that, of course, these two teams went against each other, got into some type of argument after the game, and then unfortunately we saw it turn into all of these devious instances. I also spoke with Israel's special envoy to combat anti-Semitism. She said it is not lost on anybody that this happened in the city where Anne Frank hid.
President Biden calls the attack on Israeli soccer fans anti-Semitic and despicable. There have been several arrests and multiple injuries. 2 Jewish students attacked at DePaul University in Chicago, both of them young men in their 20s.
The Chicago Jewish Alliance says they regularly took up positions on the campus at DePaul to host open conversations about Israel and the controversy surrounding Israel. Video released by the Alliance shows the sudden nature of the attack. Police say they were punched and knocked to the ground, subject to anti-Semitic comments.
Fox's Mike Tobin. Police asking the public's help to identify and find the suspects. Just getting word of a phone call between Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and President-elect Trump. The Palestinian news agency reporting that Abbas offered congratulations and said he looks forward to working with him to achieve a just and comprehensive peace. A newly unsealed federal indictment over an Iranian plot to kill the president-elect. A suspect believed to be in Iran is accused of working with a Revolutionary Guard official to plan an assassination attempt. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Who knows when they'll reach verdict? Mostly sunny, 61 degrees downtown. Your radar is clear. Tonight's low drops to 45. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. The jury's still deliberating in the Delphi murders trial after both the defense and state gave their closing arguments Thursday. This woman who's hanging out outside the courthouse doesn't think the evidence adds up against suspect Richard Allen.
There's not enough. There's just not enough to prove that he actually did it. Everything was botched up by the police in the beginning. Things weren't done. Evidence missing. There's a lot.
That woman says she's been following the case for years. She's helping people make signs outside of the Carroll County Courthouse to display their opinions on the case. You maybe have seen some pictures if you spent some time on social media. If you haven't heard, Donald Trump named Susie Wiles as his chief of staff, becoming the first woman to hold the position when she eventually takes it. Jim Banks, who was elected by Hoosiers to the U.S. Senate this week, likes the move.
She knows Donald Trump, and Donald Trump trusts her. That will make her an effective chief of staff and help the White House run in a better way than what it did for the first 4 years that Donald Trump was president. Donald Trump was a great president. He's going to be an even better president.
Banks will be replacing Mike Braun as one of Indiana's 2 senators. The Republican was also endorsed by Trump. A portion of I-65 northbound was closed for several hours this morning. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
It was a crash that caused the closure. State police say a person sitting in a broken down car was hit by somebody else driving another car, and then both cars were hit by a semi-truck.
It's a terrifying situation. If you find yourself where your car is breaking down or broken down, if you can get it out of the road, absolutely whatever it takes, even if that means drive into the ditch, drive into the grass.
State Police Sergeant John Perrine says they're still looking into this. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Economists at IU's Kelley School of Business say with interest rates expected to keep going down and strong forecasted data in manufacturing, Indiana's economy will likely see a big surge next year.
We are forecasting a pretty strong economy in 2025 for the nation. And our state is going to perform better than the rest of the country.
IU economist Philip Powell talking with Wish TV. He says that the forecast has absolutely nothing to do with the outcome of the presidential election earlier this week. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Everyone's talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation, like business owner Brian.
Yeah, Galaxy was great. We have a business where a lot of the service techs are working out in the field, and they'll come in and they'll have even some mud or something on our shoes. So if we're having a meeting, I needed a flooring that could stand up to that, but still look good as an office setting.
Well, if you own a home or a business, Galaxy Concrete Coatings got you covered.
Galaxy was great to work around our schedule. They were able to come in on a Saturday, and the job was completed over the weekend, and we were back in business, so we didn't miss a step.
Lots of styles to choose from. 4 times stronger than epoxy and a 15-year warranty.
It's very nice looking. It's very durable. Really makes the room stand out and shine.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com now now. That's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We're out of this world.
Galaxy was quick to respond. They were quick to give us a solution and quick to get it completed as well. And they're going to take care of you.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. There's an accident involving a pedestrian on Keystone at Prospect. 465 northbound slows between Fall Creek and 75th. Southbound is tight between 70 and Brookville. And eastbound 465, some delays from Keystone to Allisonville. 65 southbound hits the brakes between 29th and Meridian. This report brought to you by Honda of Fishers. Fall brings falling leaves and falling prices. Visit Honda of Fishers now for great deals on new and used Hondas. Visit Honda of Fishers in person or online at hondaofishers.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thanks, Alan. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies for the day. Today it is going to be a beautiful afternoon with highs near 65. Clear and chilly tonight, lows fall to 40. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weird?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. No decision from the Delphi jury yet. Keep it locked and right here to 93 WIBC for all the very latest. We will come straight to you with any breaking news.
Man, I've been talking to a lot of people who have been fascinated with this trial. And I haven't been able to find many people who have said, my opinion is that Richard Allen is indeed the guy. Now, maybe it's just the circle of friends that I have, the circle of family members I have. I don't know. But if you guys have been talking to, anybody about what's going on with this trial, based off of the reporting coming in, have you found anybody that said, oh, yeah, Richard Allen's the guy? They have proved without reasonable doubt that Richard Allen is Bridgeman.
I just want justice for those two little girls. I want the prosecution to do well, but I want them to do their job in a proper fashion. I want them to be able to get the guy. I don't want them to try to pin it on somebody else. I want justice for the two little girls. That's it. And the fact that the jury was asking a lot of questions, we talked about this yesterday, they were asking questions of the judge. They were submitting, they're very, very meticulous, very specific questions about certain details in that case. And the fact that they're sitting there talking about it right now, still in deliberations, at least I know I have a feeling they're taking their time and they are doing due diligence.
They're taking it seriously, which is all you can ask for a jury. Now, Allison and I were talking before the show started. Allison, I asked you if anybody in your inner circle has said, oh, yeah, I think Richard Allen is the guy. Has anybody said that to you?
Yeah, I was funny. I had this conversation last week, and I know a couple of people who they're convinced he did it.
And what's their reasoning?
Well, I think a couple things. The confessions are one thing, and two, they say at a lot of crime scenes, DNA isn't found a lot of times. So I don't know.
The other thing is, and you bring up a great point in our off-air conversation, it feels like the one aspect of this story that's been completely buried and maybe underrated, I don't know if that's the right term or not, is the hair that was wrapped around the hand, right? Because there was a report that
I don't understand.
The hair of the sister was wrapped around the hand of one of the young ladies that lost their life. And it was like down to the root, right?
Yeah, if I remember, it wasn't just loose strands of hair. It was wrapped tightly around their fingers.
I feel like there's a lot more questions about that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But we're just in wait-and-see mode now.
Yeah.
Jury is deliberating. We don't know if it's going to be a day or two, if it's going to be a week or more. We have no idea. But when we find out, you will find out. Donald Trump announced yesterday, Nige, that he picked his chief of staff.
What was his name? What is this man's name?
Oh, it's not a man.
What?
No, it's Susan Wiles. She was his campaign director for this past year and has been with him for a while.
Wait. You're telling me Donald Trump picked the boss of all his staff, the chief of staff, identifies the leader of a complex organization such as the Armed Forces institution or body of persons. It may also identify a principal staff officer, blah, blah, blah. I'm reading right off the definition of chief of staff here, right off the internet. You're telling me he picked a woman? Because I was told, Hammer, I was told that Donald Trump did not surround himself with strong, smart women by Mark Cuban, former owner of the Dallas Mavericks. Does that sound right to you?
I mean, his last couple of campaign advisors and chiefs of campaign have been women, so it makes sense that Susan Wiles becomes the chief of staff.
No, it just doesn't sit right with me because Mark Cuban told me Donald Trump doesn't surround himself with strong, smart women and that he's a sexist.
So how are you going to talk to your daughter about this awful, just sexist, misogynistic orange man who picked a, woman to be his chief of staff? Huh. Well, I'll be damned.
Scratching my head here. I'm really, this guy that doesn't like women, that doesn't surround himself with smart women. Women aren't, very smart, that voted for Donald Trump, picked a woman to run his crap, run his stuff in the White House.
Humor me on this for just a second. I'm going to put maybe the tinfoil hat on. Maybe, and I'm just saying this for argument's sake, maybe all of those Democrats that said that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. I don't know. It's a crazy theory, Nige. Just humor me on this. Maybe that's the case here.
And I'm sure there's been plenty of other female chiefs of staffs for presidents in the past, right? I mean, plenty. I mean, just example after example.
Oh no, there's been none. Zero.
I'm sorry. This is.
She's the first one.
So we've shattered the glass ceiling finally.
Is Katy Perry still in that hotel room that Hillary Clinton booked back in 2016? Is she like in a glass case that we can break for her to perform?
Man, you got me all sorts of confused here in this segment. I was convinced from Mark Cuban that Donald Trump did not surround himself with strong, smart women.
And again,
go figure.
This is a woman who has been loyal to Trump, but she can also get on Donald Trump and kind of tell him to be a little bit more focused. And I honestly think this last campaign of Donald Trump was the most focused and locked in we've seen him, and that's because of her. She's worked with Reagan in the past. She has done a lot of stuff for Republicans and conservatives in the state of Florida, which used to be a swing state. Now it's a hard red. So I think this is a good pick, but Mark Cuban may disagree, Nige. On the subject of the transition team here and fresh off the election, a lot of new senators making their way to Washington, D.C. The Republicans have the majority. So when January 20th rolls around and the Republicans have the majority in the Senate, who's going to be the leader? That was the question Fox Business's Larry Kudlow asked Florida's Rick Scott.
You are going to run. Two other... I'm going to run, Larry. I'm going to win. And here's why. I've been talking to my Republican colleagues. Guess what? They want change. They know that Trump has a mandate. They want to be part of that mandate. They want to be treated as equals. They want to be part of a team. They want to have a working relationship with the House. They know I've got a great working relationship with Trump, with Speaker Mike Johnson. They know I'm a business guy. Business guys get things done. We create a plan. We work our mission. We measure things. We create teams. That's exactly what we want in the Senate, and that's why I'll be the next majority leader, and we're going to get Trump's agenda accomplished.
They want somebody under the age of 98 as well. You just add that in there.
Now, it's not like Rick Scott is a whippersnapper by any means of the imagination, but compared to old Cocaine Mitch, my goodness, you might as well put the New Year's baby diaper on him. Turning our attention to the other side of the political aisle, what's next for Kamala Harris?
Who?
Does she go back to California, maybe think about another Senate run? Does she do the speaking tour?
Yeah, that's it. She's going to do the speaking tour. She's going to get a deal from Netflix. I think she released her memoirs for whatever that's worth in 2019, but I bet she'll get another book deal or something like that.
Well, CNN's Bakari Sellers, who, and I can't stress this enough, is a moron.
Wow.
Oh, he's one of the dumbest people on television. Now that Don Lemon doesn't have a TV show anymore, when CNN needs their quota of morons, they reach out to Bakari Sellers. He went on with CNN and says that Joe Biden should force one of these aging Democrats out of the Supreme Court and put in Kamala Harris.
Liberal. And so I hope that Joe Biden makes the next 10 weeks as consequential as he can. I don't care about drawing outside the lines or what Republicans may think about it. This is within your purview. You can actually do it, and you should do it. And, one more thing, John, is you have a hell of a vice president right there who has a legal pedigree to sit on the Supreme Court, and let Republicans go crazy and ape. I'm even mentioning that option.
You floating? Are you floating? This is 7:39 a.m. on the East Coast. Did Bakari Sellers just float Vice President Kamala Harris as a potential Supreme Court nominee?
Not only am I floating it, but I want to stir up everything. I want people's heads to explode this morning, so we go into the weekend just knowing that the chaos has not ended just yet.
How is Joe Biden going to force out a Supreme Court member when he was forced out of the presidency? Dude, you gave up your seat, the head of the free world, and now all of a sudden you think you've got some capital, some political capital, some clout to somehow drum up support for one of the Supreme Court members to retire? What? You were right about Bakari Sellers.
I told you, we don't lie on this show. No lies detected. And, all right, okay, same exercise as we did earlier. Just humor me on this. Let's just say that Joe Biden said, you know what, that's a good idea. I think the country would like this. I'm going to force out one of these aging, old Democrats, and I'm going to replace them before Donald Trump does. Do you think he's going to put Kamala Harris in there? The same Kamala Harris who was walking hand in hand with George Clooney and Nancy Pelosi when they shoved him off the cliff? That's not going to happen. I mean, we saw Joe Biden's face yesterday. That was the happiest I've seen Joe in a long time doing that presser at the White House. Why? Because everybody that tried to screw him over got beaten a landslide. That's why. All right, Alan Green is pinch hitting for Matt Baer. What's going on?
Hey, Hammer, 465 eastbound at Allisonville. There's a crash on the exit ramp. 465 westbound before Man on the south side, we got a crash. Keystone at Prospect, an accident involving a pedestrian. 465 northbound slows from Fall Creek to 75th, and southbound 465 tight from 70 to Brookville. This report brought to you by B Window. Don't miss the annual B Window Black Friday sale. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer's rebates, and no payments, no interest for 20 months. Now proud to be employee-owned. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, sunshine, 62 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. When we come back, place your bets. What do you think the number one board game in the state of Indiana is? Someone did a study. What board game have people researched the most and played the most in the state of Indiana? Get your bets in now. Answers when we come back.
Have you heard the saying, cash is king? This is true most of the time, but it's not when you're retired.
Hey, this is Rob.
And this is Casey.
When you're retired, cash is not king. Income is king.
Discover how you could turn your savings into a guaranteed stream of income in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We trust Bill to help us with planning for our retirement, and you can too.
If you've saved more than $200,000, call Bill right now at 317-932-9912.
Social Security alone won't be enough to pay for your retirement. You need to create other sources of income that you can count on for the rest of your life.
Call Bill Demery now at 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912. Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi, my entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through December 22nd, get Thrillifyingly fast 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract and free Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com to switch today. Keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked, only in theaters November 22nd. Restrictions apply. Requires prepaid bill and auto-pay stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $56 a month for internet service and $15 for Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
In the fight against lung cancer, it's game on, game strong. Franciscan Health leads the way with robotic technology to find and treat cancer sooner. Our entire team of multidisciplinary experts let cancer know it's hard to play against us. Franciscan Health is changing the game for lung cancer patients. Schedule a consultation or second opinion today. Visit franciscanhealth.org/lungcancercare.
It's Hammer and Nigel for Window Nation. Experts say that heating costs are increasing up to 23% this winter. And if your windows aren't from Window Nation, your money is literally going out the window. They have some of the best insulated windows, so your heat stays inside. And right now, get these amazing windows at 50% off.
Plus, you could save even more money with 0% interest for 5 years. Hurry, this sale ends November 30th. Schedule your fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center by offering the expert, compassionate care you need.
When I was at my lowest, I would have 2 or 3 nurses come in to give me a pep talk, telling me it's okay to feel this way. It's normal, but you have us to support you and you will get through this.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Shh. The silence you just heard? You could have used that space to reach your customers. Get your message in front of your customers. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by B&W HVAC, Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The question was, what board game is the most popular in Indiana? Don't play many board games anymore with the fam. I remember we get a hold of a Berenstein Bears board game back in the day, worth something to do with a spooky tree or something like that.
Okay.
Very popular when my kids were smaller. Don't play very many games. Go Fish was fun. That's not a board game, though.
Right, card games are something different.
Right, so that doesn't count. So
because Uno games get pretty heated in our house.
When I was a kid, does Boggle count? Do you remember Boggle?
I think Boggle counts.
Allison, do you know what Boggle is?
Yes, and that doesn't surprise me that you played it.
Oh, my whole family played it. We all when I was a kid. It was it was a big bubble in the middle, and you pressed it, and it was filled with like letters, little die with letters on it. And
there's a lot of bubble games when we were growing up.
Yes,
because Trouble was like that too with the Pop-O-Matic bubble. So there's this gaming site called Clash, and they did a study for every state in America about what is the most popular board game. They factored in Google searches, sales, a number of things from October 2023 to September of this past year. So almost a calendar year. And coming in at number 1 in the state of Indiana, Sorry. The board game,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we have Sorry.
I like Sorry because in Sorry, it gives you the option. You can either continue down a path with your little colored peg, or you could take your opponent and send them back home.
I thought you were definitely going to say Monopoly for sure.
Well, that comes in a little bit later in the list, but let's go back to Sorry here for just a moment. Family Guy even had a little bit about Sorry.
Okay, 1, 2, Sorry. Sorry, the board game that teaches you to be a
Which is true, because you've got options, right? You can either keep moving forward in the game, or you could intentionally send somebody back to home base. Guess which one I always like to do? Monopoly, Nigel, you mentioned that, comes in at number 2. It was number 2 on
for
the
Indiana?
list. Yes.
Okay.
Now, it's traditional Monopoly, not this new millennial Monopoly that's out there.
Millennial Monopoly. Millennial Monopoly is a modern version of the classic game, now updated to reflect the current economic landscape and the real-world challenges that millennials face today. Players now start with less money. No hedge fund advantages here. Players now start in debt as they face stagnating wages in a shrinking job market.
You're fired. Warehouse replaces you with fully automated robot. Go back to start.
Everybody will love Millennial Monopoly's new updated chance cards.
Bitcoin goes up, collect $10,000. Wait. You have to read it. Wait, never mind. It just went down. Pay $20,000.
Pretty much.
Just like actual millennials, players will face a rigid market, struggle to progress, and remain stuck in their parents' basement forever.
Parents changed Netflix password. Pay $100?
So what are you waiting for? Freshen up your family game nights with new Millennial Monopoly.
Is Clue on there at all? I played Clue. I played the hell out of Clue when I was a kid.
Rounding out the top 5, chess, backgammon, and Catan? I don't even know what that is.
That must be a new
C-A-T-A-N?
Catan. It's
Catan?
a big, you take over different nations and all this stuff.
No, just give me
It's a little
Clue any
complicated.
day. Professor Plum with the nightstick
In the library.
In the library with the candlestick.
Right.
You know, maybe Pictionary in there.
Okay, a little Pictionary.
Trivial Pursuit when I started to get a little older.
Dude, I'm a ringer in Trivial Pursuit. Anybody that has trivia contest, I'm a ringer in that stuff.
And don't forget, Pictionary.
You mentioned that.
Did
Yes.
I said Pictionary?
Yes.
What is backgammon?
I've never played it.
I haven't either.
I know what it is.
I've heard of it. I don't necessarily know what it is.
What about Mousetrap?
Oh, I played Mousetrap.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
is Twister considered a board game?
A human board game.
Right? But if you're looking for the ultimate board game, just in time for the holiday season, check this out from Hammer and Nigel Productions.
Move over Monopoly. This Christmas, there's only one item that can bring the whole family together. Hammer and Nigel Products presents the Hammer and Nigel Show, the board game. Just set up the game board, roll the dice, and follow the instructions on the corresponding cards. Like this.
Look, Dad, you landed on Lewd Nude Due to the News.
I sure did, Jimmy. Now here, help me get these underwear off. It's perfect for children of all ages and ideal for family game night.
Okay, Mom, you landed on Booze News.
I
I love you. Now pass Mama that case of Old Milwaukee.
And if you order in the next 10 minutes, we'll even throw in another game for free. Elizabeth Warren's Twister.
Left foot red.
Yeah.
Left foot red.
The Hammer and Nigel Show board game. Order today.
Just in time for the holiday season from the Hammer and Nigel Show.
As the summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-262-1104 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-262-1104. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here from Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. Well, this weekend, you'll want to look at the biggest selection of artificial trees in Indiana, already reduced 30%. Come see our pre-lit trees in stock ranging from 2 to 14 foot tall. Plus, you'll get an extra discount on some of the best-selling trees. And with purchase, we'll even throw in a $25 gift card from our gift shop. Just arriving, fresh greens and live trees. Large selection of ornaments also on sale. Buy two, get one free. Can't make it to our stores? Well, check out our artificial trees online at sullivanhardware.com. So come in or buy online. The choice is yours. Again, this year at our 71st and Keystone store, climb aboard the Sullivan Express train and visit Santa. Book your tickets at sullivanhardware.com. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan, 114th and Allisonville Road in Fishers.
Point!
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Still waiting to see who takes the house. Sunny and 62 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. No need to worry about any rain in the radar. Temps drop to the mid-40s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. Republicans already have control of the White House and Senate. They could wind up taking the House, too.
It would be a narrow majority, but a majority means that the Speaker of the House will be a Republican, and that's what matters. So having a Republican majority in the House, a Republican majority in the Senate to back President Trump up.
State Rep and U.S. Senator-elect Jim Banks says that majority will be a big help for Donald Trump's agenda. Fox's Chad Pergram reports on the House race is still up for grabs.
There are 211 GOP seats, 199 Democratic seats, 25 seats remain uncalled. The magic number is 218. House Republicans believe they might have the same narrow majority they have now. Democrats are still not conceding the House. They believe they flipped a seat in Oregon and held a deeply red district in Washington. But some Democrats say it's time for a reality check.
It could take days for all the House results to come in, with states still counting votes. You may have seen pictures of people with signs posted up outside the Carroll County Courthouse today. This woman's helping people make those signs.
There's a lot of people all over the world that can't be here. So we put their message down and put it down so that way everybody sees them.
That's Jenny, who's been following the Delphi murders case for years. She's just asking for true justice. The jury is still deliberating, still waiting on a verdict on whether or not suspect Richard Allen will be found guilty. IU students are worried after they received racist text messages. Jake McDaniel reports.
Text messages including telling students to board a van to a so-called plantation, as students say. IU police haven't said who sent those racist text messages, but they are working with the FBI, and they say that students at schools across the country are also receiving these messages. FBI tells students to let them know if this ever happens again. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Purdue basketball back in action tonight in this young college basketball season. Head coach Matt Painter is asking his squad to play some better defense.
We got to do a better job of containing the dribble. We got to do a better job of keeping the ball out of the paint. I think that's when a lot of good things are going to happen.
The Boilermakers play Northern Kentucky at 7. They're 1-for-1 of the season thus far. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:35.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. I'm here with Michaela to talk about water damage. Water damage at your home or business can come from heavy rains, broken or frozen pipes, and countless other ways. Michaela, if someone has a loss due to water, why should they call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local, family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. We are manning the phones and ready to help 24/7, 365. Michaelis specializes in water damage restoration, is IICRC certified, and will restore your home or business to pre-loss condition or better.
I know a big part of getting back to normal is dealing with the insurance company. Can Michaelis help there?
Yes, Michaelis works through the entire process on your behalf to make it easy and give you peace of mind.
If you have water damage, call the Michaelis Corporation. Water, storms, fire, and mold, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
The traffic at 3:36. Here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. On 465 westbound after Harding, there's a crash. It's on the right shoulder. 65 southbound slows up between 21st and the North Split. 465 southbound taps the brakes between 70 and Shadeland. Eastbound 465 is tight from Keystone to Allisonville. That earlier crash on the exit ramp at Allisonville, that's cleared. This report brought to you by B-Window. Don't miss the annual B-Window Black Friday sale. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer's rebates, and no payments, no interest for 20 months. Now proud to be employee-owned. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies for the day today. It is going to be a beautiful afternoon with highs near 65. Clear and chilly tonight, lows fall to 40. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, I'm Nigel. Hammer's over there with a special guest on the hotline.
Tommy Pigott is the Strategic Communications Director for the RNC. You can see some of his work at RNC Research, at Trump Team. Tommy, before we get into anything else, you have been coming on this show with us on Fridays for about the last 2 or 3 years, and it feels like every conversation was leading up to what took place this past Tuesday. So take me through what it was like for you, all your hard work, everything that's gone on behind closed doors at the RNC to see that type of result.
It was really incredible. I mean, what a night for America. And it was so much hard work. I mean, it's an honor to be part of this team and to be able to do this work. But it was so many people getting involved, so many volunteers across the country, so many conversations with people across the country that were really reeling from these policies of the last 3.5 years. And to be there in West Palm Beach at the convention center and see those results come in and see state after state being called, and not only see President Trump win, but also major Senate victories and House victories. It really was a big win for America, and I'm so proud to be part of this team, honored to be working with all of these people across the country, and it's such a big win for America.
How do you explain, Tommy, the narrative leading up to the election that this was a very close race, the margin of victory very thin, it could go either way, 1% here, 1% there, votes here, votes there, Latino votes, black votes, women, it's going to be the women vote. And then you wake up the next morning and it's like the complete opposite of everything mainstream legacy media told us. What What do you think about that and how that was presented?
Well, I think it just goes to the bias of the mainstream media and the fact that so many people don't exit their bubble and see what's actually going on in the country. So many people just are, especially these Democrat strategists, if that's even the word for it, are just in their bubbles, and they don't go out and they don't see the inflation, they don't see the border crisis and the havoc that's wreaking. They don't actually go out there and talk to people. And so I think that was part of it. And I think what we saw, the fact that he grew his support with every single demographic, every single one, and not just demographic, but geographically as well. There's maps out there that show the shift in support, and it was a movement towards President Trump in almost every single county in this country. So it was every demographic. It was every area of the country geographically. It was really a resounding victory. And I think it shows the power of the American people to say that we're not going to believe the fake news. We're going to stand up and we're going to save this country. And that's what we saw. We saw all of those millions of Americans standing up and saying we're going to save this country. And it also goes to show, I think, a victory for common sense. I mean, we have so much non-common sense coming from the left these days, and the American people just didn't fall for it. They said, no, we shouldn't have men and women's sports. We should have a secure border. We shouldn't be fueling inflation. We need to have America first policies. And it really was amazing to see so many millions of Americans send that message so profoundly this week.
Tommy Pickett of the RNC is our guest here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Tommy, one of the things we've been talking about the last couple of days is the ridiculous things we're seeing on social media, whether it's on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. The same people who have had no problem calling Trump supporters, conservatives, every name under the sun for the past 4 years, everything from Hitler to fascist to garbage, all of a sudden are trying to well up these tears and have tough conversations with their kids about the rhetoric that Donald Trump may have once he gets into office. Like, come on, is anybody buying that hypocritical bullcrap?
I don't think they are, and I think that was shown on Tuesday when we had all those millions of Americans come out and say they don't buy it. I mean, they threw everything they could at President Trump, every single thing they could. They couldn't stoop any lower. They said absolutely everything. They leveled every smear, every lie.
They tried to kill him.
Twice. I mean, everything they threw at this man, and he stood up and he still won. I think that shows that the American people weren't buying it, and I think it also was telling that a lot of these Democrats that were saying the world's going to come to an end if President Trump wins, some of them aren't saying that anymore. And I think it shows that they never actually believed it. A lot of Democrats never believed what they were saying. They just were trying to sell it to gain power. And the American people, again, said, no, we've had enough of it. We want to bring this country together. And I think ultimately it does show that President Trump was the unity candidate because he grew in every single demographic. He grew at every single area of this country geographically. He brought this country together, and he's going to keep on doing that with the success that his policies are going to bring.
It's just bizarre to me that people like Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert, their whole argument right now, the entire staff of MSNBC, their argument right now is all of the country is wrong, but this little pocket of people are right.
What's wrong with this country? What's wrong with Americans?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's the opposite of what they should be doing. I mean, I kind of had a sliver of hope that maybe they'd wake up and they'd say, we have to change our strategy. But nope, they're not going to do that, and they're going to keep on doing the same thing that they've been doing the last couple of years. Really, there's no norm that they're not afraid to break in order to try to gain power. I mean, and it's upsetting to see. But I think, again, it's heartening to see that the American people aren't buying it, and that they're standing with President Trump, and they want common sense back. And I think, we saw that on Tuesday, the fact that every single demographic. And the reason why I think that's so profound is because the Democrats try to divide us. They try to divide us based off of racial lines, based off of background, based off of class. And the American people spoke with a resounding voice across all of those boundaries in one single voice, electing President Trump. And it really was a moment of unity for this country. So the Democrats may try to divide. They may try to, stick to their same old tried and failed talking points. But ultimately, the American people want to come together, and they want to show that when we put America first, it helps not just America, but the whole world.
So when we say America first now, Tommy, we're speaking with Tommy Pickett, RNC Strategic Comms Director. When we say America first, when we say Donald Trump, when we talk about Republicans, what's next for the Republican Party? What can we expect?
Well, I think the Republican Party now is going to keep on building on these gains that we saw. The Republican Party is truly a party that represents the everyday American, that truly represents working Americans in this country that have been left behind by failed policies for too long. Those gains that we saw with Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, the fact that President Trump was the first Republican ever to win Latino men in a presidential election, we're going to keep on building on those gains, delivering on the promises that we've made, and make sure that we continue to grow this party and truly live up to the fact that we are now the party of unity. We are now the party of inclusion. We are now the party that represents the everyday American. We're going to keep on building on those gains. We're not going anywhere. We're going to make sure that we keep on speaking to the American people so that we keep on growing this coalition and truly make America great again.
Tommy, last thing here before we let you go. Why is Alec Baldwin still in our country? Why is Rosie O'Donnell still here? Why is John Legend and Michael Cohen and Cher and Robert De Niro, all of these people who said they were going to flee the country if Trump were elected, why are they still here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, it shows the hypocrisy again, right? I mean, so many Democrats saying the world was going to end, and then, of course, we don't see that from a lot of them now because I don't think they ever believed it. So some of them are repeating the same talking points, but yeah, their actions don't match up with their rhetoric, and it shows, again, that they don't believe what they're saying. So I think the American people want a politician that believes what he says, and that's what we have for President Trump.
Tommy, well, great job, man. I know you guys worked your backsides off behind closed doors over there, and a lot of hard work, a lot of elbow grease, some sleepless nights, but you guys pulled it off in blowout fashion, not just for the presidency, but for governor's races, state house positions, the Senate, the House looks good. Congratulations, and we appreciate your time. We'll talk to you next Friday.
All right, sounds good. Have a good weekend.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Think of everything you do to provide for your family. A home, food on the table, healthcare, vacations, and saving for your kids' education. It's all good as long as you're alive, but it's only a drop in the bucket of what they'll need if you die without life insurance. Buying term life insurance is not something you can afford to put off. Call the Term Lifeline now for the lowest possible rates on quality term life insurance. Term life rates are at all-time lows, and we can save you up to 70%. If you already have coverage, you could be paying too much. One call could save you thousands of dollars. We have great rates for smokers, too, or if you have health problems. Providing for today is good, but it's not enough if you die prematurely. Call the Term Lifeline today for a free quote. Protect your family and see if you could save up to 70%.
866-549-TERM. 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 That's 866-549-8376.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg, Central Indiana's premier arms dealer. They have over 1,200 firearms in stock, the largest selection of used firearms in the area, from pre-Civil War to modern guns. Premier Arms has always put their customers ahead of their profits. They always have ammunition available when a customer buys a firearm. Everyone can find what they're looking for at Premier Arms in Brownsburg, 3754 South Green Street. Find them online at premierarms.com. Premierarms.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Hi, friends. This is Patty Spittler with Pet Pals TV. You know, I'm very comfortable in front of the camera, but the telephone can intimidate me. Because of my hearing loss, I can't hear well on a regular telephone. Now with my Cap telephone, I'm making contacts in a busy world. My caption telephone through Relay Indiana allows me to read what the other person is saying. Go to RelayIndiana.com to learn more about CapTel, the caption telephone. Read what you're hearing.
When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Attention.
If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
Weekend emergency, no problem. They're here for you 7 days a week at B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical. B+W.com/radio to learn more. B&W is your independent American Standard air dealer.
B's offering our Black Friday sale. 52% off plus 10% manufacturer rebates and 18 months, no interest, no payments.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Alan Green has a look at the roads.
Thanks, Hammer. 465 westbound after Harding, an earlier accident is just cleared. 65 southbound jams up between 29th and King. 465 southbound heavy from 70 to Shadeland. Southbound collector traffic is building now from the North Split to about Fletcher. This report brought to you by B-Window. Don't miss the annual B-Window Black Friday sale. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer's rebates, and no payments, no interest for 20 months. Now proud to be employee-owned. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
63 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Well, we're coming to your city.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hammer and Nigel Road Show this Tuesday at the World Food Championships, the most prestigious culinary competitions in the world going on right now at the State Fair, Hammer.
I can smell the food from here. Like, that's how good these people are.
Oh, man.
The aroma, the food, the samples, the barbecue, the fire pits. And here's the best part. Tickets are super cheap. So if you are a foodie or you want to do something fun with the family this weekend or next week, go check out the World Food Championships, man. The best in the world doing it up. It's like the biggest, most badass tailgate you could ever find over at the State Fairgrounds. And we're doing our show Tuesday over there. Tuesday, the Indiana Farm Bureau Fall Creek Pavilion from 3 until 6.
It's a mouthful.
It
literally.
is. So stop by, hang out, and let's eat so much food we hate ourselves by 6:05. Now, before we do that on Tuesday, we got a special event we're doing on Monday. We're raising some money for some veterans.
Yeah, Operation Rudolph is what we're calling it. Going to be giving away just a bunch of stuff to many homeless veterans: coats, gloves, scarves, hats, socks. We want to include Christmas cards with gift cards in it with money, and just, there's a lot of homeless vets out on the streets living right now in Indy. 100% of the money raised for Hoosiers on Veterans Day. Operation Rudolph. You'll learn more about it Monday. Trust us. Yeah,
we're going to try to raise $5,000. That's kind of the goal that we've got in our head, $5,000.
And it's all going to homeless vets here in Indy.
Right. Stays right here in the Hoosier states, and people who have served their country and have had a bad break along the way. We're going to do something that the Biden-Harris administration should be doing. We're going to try to take care of these people. Real quick, we announced this the other day. New items on the Hammer and Nigel Show merchandise store.
Yeah.
Couple holiday shirts. There's the Die Hard is a Christmas movie shirt. There's the Merry Christmas to everyone except CNN t-shirt.
Oh.
And the He's Back, the Donald Trump Terminator shirt. So if you want to get one of the
my
new
favorite.
ones, go ahead. The Guy Relford shirt is there, the Rob Kendall collection, and of course, the Hammer and Nigel show stuff. T-shirts, hoodies, hat, pint glasses. Perfect for the Hammer and Nigel fan in your family for the holiday season. Miss Allison, can I get some mood music, please?
Is this Farrell?
Is that how they say it in Liston?
Shotgun Kelly and Farrell?
Yes, you're correct. He says that he got fired from McDonald's 3 times when he was younger because he was eating all the chicken nuggets. Quote, McDonald's was my first and only job. I got fired 3 times. I was eating the chicken nuggets. The first 2 times, it was just because I was lazy. The third was like, what are you doing? You're just not going to eat the chicken nuggets?
Dude, let me tell you something. I worked at Burger King. I skimmed off the top all the time. Like I was in the mafia, but the mafia of chicken nuggets. I put more chicken nuggets in that fryer than I needed to and would eat them all the time. When they, at one point, they served like a specialty item, shrimp. I was putting extra shrimp in there left and right.
Oh, it's amazing.
Just doing it up. I probably owe Burger King thousands of dollars in extra chicken nuggets and shrimp.
I saw a story on social media of some guy that said he worked at McDonald's for years, and he would always put an extra chicken McNugget in the package. Yeah. Like, what a hero.
What a gift.
Like, what a gift to society. Like, that's the guy that I'll follow anywhere. The guy that's giving extra chicken nuggets in the small order. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
I'm confused. After 40 years, people still tell me that they have seen another spa that's as good as a Royal Spa. I've given tours to engineering groups who see our operation and ask, how can anyone buy from others when Royal Spa products are so much better? The answer is that lots of people don't take the time to understand the unbelievable differences. Come into any of our locations and make the salesperson prove the superiority of the Royal Spa product.
Royal Spa.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joiner Homes can build you a truly unique custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Joiner Homes have model homes you can visit or go to joinerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing. Also at Joiner Homes, you can start from scratch if you want to. They get lots of 5-star Google reviews. Check them out at joinerhomes.com.
Everyone knows that hoops hit harder in Indiana.
Turner
pounds it down. Be there when the Pacers and Knicks square off in a hard-hitting playoff rematch this Sunday.
Halliburton on the move, bouncing it into the lane. You will not see a better pick and roll than that. Turner dunks it with a right hand.
It's an Eastern Conference rivalry that's always a battle when your Pacers meet the New York Knicks. Be part of the fun Sunday at 5. Get your tickets at pacers.com/tickets. Pacers-Knicks, Sunday at 5.
A true partner in your health dedicates time to understanding your needs. At CenterWell Senior Primary Care, doctors make one-on-one time with you a priority, so you can get all your questions answered and feel more confident in your health care. See how it feels to have a team of senior care experts working together to help you feel your best. CenterWell, it's about time. Schedule a tour today at meetcenterwell.com. That's meetcenterwell.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, deliberations done today in the Delphi murders trial, but no verdict yet. There was a fatal crash that shut down some lanes on I-65 this morning, and one of your state reps likes Donald Trump's choice for his chief of staff. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
A Trump assassination plot hatched in Iran. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Justice Department unsealing a federal indictment charging a suspect who is not in custody and believed to have been working on a plot with an Iranian Revolutionary Guard official.
The man they are looking for on the run right now, a 51-year-old who is allegedly working directly with the Iranian regime on a plan to kill the president-elect. His name is Farhad Shakiri, and authorities believe that he's in Iran. According to a criminal complaint unsealed hours ago, Shakiri demanded large sums of money for working on this plot to kill Trump. As stated in the criminal complaint, Shakiri indicated to an IRGC official that this would cost a huge amount of money. In response, the official said, quote, "We have already spent a lot of money, so the money's not an issue."
Fox's David Spunt in Washington, the same suspect accused of working with 2 New York City suspects on a plot to kill an Iranian-American journalist. More than 60 arrests made in Amsterdam, where Israeli soccer fans were attacked after a game.
The King of Netherlands calls this an anti-Semitic crime. President Biden calls it despicable and says he appreciates the Dutch authorities' commitment to holding the perpetrators accountable.
Fox's Matt Finn in Tel Aviv, the Palestinian Ministry of Foreign Affairs claims Israeli fans instigated confrontations. State police in Pennsylvania just confirming 3 people killed, 3 others wounded after a suspect opened fire in an apartment before leading police on a 40-mile chase through 2 counties, ending in a gunfight. The suspect is now among the dead, and a 19-year-old woman was found shot dead in his truck. Those 2 had taken out protection from abuse orders against each other, and it was members of her family shot in the apartment. For now, that investigation continues. New highs on Wall Street, the Dow up 259 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Still no verdicts. Partly sunny, 63 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. A check of the radar comes up completely clear tonight, slowed down to the mid-40s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Well, they just wrapped things up in Delphi for the day. The jury, that is. No verdict yet. They're going to continue deliberating tomorrow. This woman has been following the case for years, is skeptical the prosecution proved suspect Richard Allen's guilt.
I don't believe they showed the evidence that is needed to really convict him.
She's been helping people make signs outside the Carroll County Courthouse. You may have seen some pictures online. Richard Allen is made accused of killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German in 2017. A warning, this story could be tough to listen to. A man from Indianapolis is getting over 50 years in prison for sexually exploiting a toddler. John Hayrick reports.
The Department of Justice says last year that Joshua Sims forced a toddler to engage in sexually explicit conduct and recorded himself, along with even forcing a relative under his care to watch him do it. Back in 2006, he was also convicted of child molesting in DeKalb County and got more than 7 years in prison for that, but also subsequently failed to register as a sex offender multiple times. Sims is 38 years old now. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
I-65 northbound in downtown was shut down for several hours this morning because of a fatal wreck.
We're looking at every possibility that could have happened. We did a full crash return overnight, but we just don't have those answers yet.
State Police Sergeant John Perron Ryan said a person sitting in a broken-down car was hit by someone driving another vehicle before both cars were hit by a semi-truck that eventually caught on fire. State Representative Jim Banks was elected this week to be your senator. He believes Susie Wiles is the perfect choice for Donald Trump's chief of staff.
She's tough as nails. She's been working closely with President Trump for the full 4 years that President Trump has been out of office. He couldn't find a better person to fill the role of chief of staff.
Wiles is the first woman to be selected for the position. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. Today we're chatting with Michaela about crawl spaces. Michaela, why is it a problem if there's moisture in your crawl space?
Moisture in your crawl space can lead to mold growth and unpleasant odors. And remember, what happens in the crawl space doesn't stay there. It circulates throughout your entire home.
So how do you keep your crawl space dry, clean, and secure?
If you notice water or strange smells in your crawl space, call Michaelis for a free inspection. We're a local family-owned business that's been serving the Indianapolis area for over 39 years. If you need our services, we offer 0% down on crawl space work. You see our work before we see your money. We are your crawl space repair experts.
Keep your crawl space clean and dry for foundations, basements, and crawl spaces. When life happens, Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call or text 844-FIXED-INDY. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
With traffic at 4:05, here's Alan Green.
On 465 eastbound, a jam up between the dogleg and ditch where a crash has a left lane blocked. 465 eastbound, heavy on the south side from 70 to Man. 65 southbound hits the brakes between 29th and the north split. And 465 southbound is slow from 70 to Shadeland. This report brought to you by PureTalk.com. Stop overpaying for your cell phone plan. Pure Talk gives you unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month on their 5G network. Dial pound 250 and say keyword switch now to save 50% off your first month. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It looks like as we move towards Friday night, skies will be partly cloudy. Low temperatures will drop to the lower 40s and winds will be out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy with a high temperature around 62 tomorrow. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! Keeping an eye on that Delphi jury. Nothing as of yet. In fact, they're done for the day, aren't they?
Done for the day. They have been sent back to the hotel, and they will reconvene tomorrow. So no jury decision today. We'll talk to Donnie and Guy coming up at 5:06 today. Donnie's up in Delphi. He's just waiting for the decision. But the angle we want to take today is what's going on in the mind of these jurors. And this is something where I can actually be on the receiving end of questions from Donnie and Guy, because I have been a juror in a high-profile murder case where 2 people were being charged with murder. So I've gone through this thing. I know the song and dance. I know the bull crap some of these jurors are probably dealing with, and we're going to get into that a little bit after 5.
I would assume these jurors are pretty astute. They want to get this over with. Not that they're rushing, but they want to take in every ounce of information and get the hell home and make the right decision all at the same time.
Right. And the more this plays out, that could be part of the storyline, right? Because how much time away from their family, away from work, can these jurors really afford to miss? Now, I know they are supposed to get a pass, but after, 4 days, 5 days, a week, they're going to want to start seeing their family again for Thanksgiving.
Sure.
So what's going to happen here? That definitely plays into it, and we'll talk about that a little bit after 5 o'clock. You may have heard in the news at the top of the hour, but the Justice Department says it has thwarted an Iranian plot to kill Donald Trump in the weeks leading up to the election. This is David Spunt of Fox News.
The Justice Department, specifically the Southern District of New York, they're looking for a 51-year-old who they believe resides in Iran. His name is Farhad Shakiri. And according to the Justice Department, he was working with the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps on a plot to kill then former President Trump, now President-elect Trump, just a few months ago. Said, quote, it would cost a huge amount of money. That's what he allegedly told the folks back in Iran. Now, separately, he is also accused of employing multiple associates in New York City to surveil and murder an unnamed U.S. citizen that opposed the Iranian regime in New York. Now, Kaylee, this all stems from former President Trump's directive to kill General Qasem Soleimani back in January of 2020. Since then, national security officials have told Fox News the threat stream toward President-elect Trump's life has really increased.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, so this guy that they're looking for in Iran has proxies or has people that he's working with or communicating with in New York?
Yes.
Is that the point I heard? That's pretty scary.
Correct. Just because the campaign is over now does not mean the assassination attempts are probably going to be stopping anytime soon on Donald Trump. Because the Iranians, and you heard from the reporter there, they are still ticked off that their leader got blown to hell from Donald Trump. When Soleimani got blown up, and again, this is how crooked the media is in this country, the national media. I think we could all agree blowing up a terrorist who has been responsible for the deaths, injuries, paralysis of a number of U.S. servicemen and women over the years past, normally we would all view that as a good thing. But because Donald Trump did it, remember how the New York Times and Washington Post treated it?
There may have been the word scholarly or some sort of scholar in there.
He was a poet. He had a salt and pepper beard.
Yeah.
His thighs were so tan and athletic. When he would run, his butt cheeks would clench together. Oh, I can't believe he's dead. I mean, it's so ridiculous the way this national, mainstream media treats Donald Trump. Now, he brings a lot of this stuff on himself. At least he has in the past. I get it. He makes himself a target. But if you ever find yourself in a position, do we want to try to, rip on Donald Trump? Or should we do a soft, sentimental piece on this terrorist bastard that's killed some of our men and women? You're on the wrong side if you're choosing the soft piece on the terrorist.
Look, they doubled down on all the hateful, incendiary Hitler-type rhetoric leading up to the election. When I say they, I mean a lot of Democrats, a lot of left-wing progressives. After there had been 2 attempts on 45's life, talking about Donald Trump, now president-elect, they doubled down at the end with more Hitler, more threat to democracy, more calling supporters garbage.
And what's wild is that you see some journalists who didn't used to be that way all of a sudden snap their fingers, and here they come as Mr. Johnny Hot Take. Like, Jake Tapper has always been kind of a weasel. I think we can all agree to that. But he would never go out and just blatantly call you Hitler until this year. And we've played the audio before. That's what he's done. Look at those awful women at CBS. Look at David Muir of ABC News. You shouldn't know their political views. You shouldn't really know their names. But here we are. Why do we know who they are? Because they're blatant hacks. They're not opinion hosts. These are their news people. Like, I expect opinions to come from the CNN flamethrowers, Van Jones, and those types of people. But Jake Tapper is a straight-up news guy. Well, he used to be.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Allison, we need the current and newly elected Attorney General Todd Rokita to kick off some legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
All right, Nige, get ready, because I think you're going to know the part where I need you on this story.
Okay.
A judge overseeing Donald Trump's federal January 6th case has granted a pause in regards to the trial featuring special counsel Jack Smith.
Deranged prosecutor Jack Smith. Deranged. He's deranged.
So long story short,
Trump hater Jack Smith, deranged, corrupt.
It's over. It's over. This whole January 6th investigation into him, it was crap to begin with. It's over now. The day after the election, that's when we found out all of this information. And that tells you right then and there this whole thing was a political stunt. And that's not the way the Justice Department is supposed to be. Ridiculous. Speaking of elections, quick update here, Nige. San Francisco's Mayor London Breed went down in defeat. She will no longer be the mayor of San Francisco. She got beat by Daniel Lurie. Now, Daniel Lurie is the heir to the Levi Strauss money, the Gene people. He's got a lot of cash, spent a lot of money, and beat London Breed, who may have been one of the worst mayors in all of America. Think about what transpired in San Francisco under her watch. An upgrade in poop and a downgrade in education. An upgrade in needles and a downgrade in things that you need to help veterans on the streets.
I'm just saying, I want to clarify, did you say an upgrade in poop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Poop and needles, they have plenty on the streets of San Francisco. But ways to help homeless veterans, ways to help the education system, not so much.
Yeah, well, and a hypocrite.
Oh, my goodness. She was one of the stars of COVID Hypocrisy Madness we did a couple years ago. If you remember, she was all about the mask mandate. She didn't want you walking outside.
No.
She didn't want you in your own backyard alone without having a mask on. But then, lo and behold, somebody got video of her at a nightclub without a mask. The band Tony was having a reunion concert, and she was there drinking, dancing, not a mask to be found. And this was her response when she was asked about it.
I don't know about you and whether or not you know who Raphael Sadiq and Dwayne Wiggins are, but I don't know about you, but if you know who they are, I don't care where you're sitting. You're going to get up and start dancing. My drink was sitting at the table.
Uh-huh.
I got up and started dancing because I was feeling the spirit.
Oh.
And I wasn't thinking about a mask. I was thinking about having a good time. And let me tell you, when the spirit moves you because you are watching history in the making, Bay Area royalty perform.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm not going to turn around and look for where my mask is.
Now listen.
That was your rules. Those were your rules that you put in place. What are you talking about?
People couldn't go to funerals of their parents, but Tony was about to play It Feels Good inside of a bar, and hot damn, the rules go out the window. And the other thing here is, can we stop acting like Tony is like the Beatles? Like, I get it. They're from the area. Fine. It Feels Good was a good song. But you're acting like Paul McCartney just dug up John Lennon. He's alive, and they're about to hit the stage again. Stop it. It's just Tony. Jesus. Alan Green, what's going on?
Hey, guys. 465 eastbound at Ditch. There's a crash blocking the left lane. Traffic is pretty solid from the dogleg. 465 eastbound is also stop and go from 70 to Man on the south side. 65 southbound breaks from King right into the north split, and the southbound collector is heavy from there to Fletcher. This report brought to you by Honda of Fishers. Fall brings falling leaves and falling prices. Visit Honda of Fishers now for great deals on new and used Hondas. Visit Honda of Fishers in person or online at hondaofishers.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Yeah, my grandmother passed away. I couldn't go to her funeral. I had to watch it on Zoom. But
hey,
Tony was doing a sound check at a bar. Well, we all should have just met there. Maybe we would have had the funeral there.
Felt the spirit.
Maybe Raphael
right
Sadiq could have sang at the damn funeral. 62 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. We need you to hit that like button on the YouTube stream. Go to YouTube, look for the WIBC channel. We stream this little nickel and dime pony show every day. There's a camera on Nigel's beautiful tan face.
Hello.
There's a camera on me. Damn it, I look sexy today. So hit the thumbs up. Give us some likes. We got to get to 100. So we need about 40 more. 40 people to hit like. Get us to 100, and everything will be great. Is this anything? Next.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Fall in Indy is great, but don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint, and the crew
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house and all the pillars. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
And right now, Indy, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and that would be the way to go.
And here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Have you heard the saying, cash is king? This is true most of the time, but it's not when you're retired.
Hey, this is Rob.
And this is Casey.
When you're retired, cash is not king. Income is king.
Discover how you could turn your savings into a guaranteed stream of income in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We trust Bill to help us with planning for our retirement, and you can too.
If you've saved more than $200,000, call Bill right now at 317-932-9912.
Social Security alone won't be enough to pay for your retirement. You need to create other sources of income that you can count on for the rest of your life.
Call Bill Demery now at 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912. Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
Do you hear that? These are the sounds of our jeweler's workshop at Shane Company, where they're working their magic to bring beautiful, fine jewelry gifts to life. At Shane Company, we love jewelry as much as you do, and we know what it takes to create something special. No matter your budget, we craft our jewelry with expert care to be passed down for generations. With jewelry craftsmen in every store and an unmatched free lifetime warranty, we're here to make sure your jewelry always shines bright. Stop by and shop online at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx, save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Hey, don't take your eyes off the road. Just listen. What you hear right now, your customers hear it too. Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by B&W HVAC, Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll. Big Nige.
Hit me.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but there was a presidential election this past Tuesday.
I'm aware.
And some people are very upset that Donald Trump has won.
Yeah, that's a shame.
They're taking it as far as refusing to date, get married, and some women, a new wave of feminism, they're not going to have sex with men because Donald Trump will be about to enter the White House. Here are some ladies making their proclamation.
Donald Trump is president, and I think all women should stop having sex for the next 4 years in protest and protection of your bodies.
I also have decided that for the next 4 years, I am going to abstain from schmex with men. And funny enough, I actually just broke up with my boyfriend a handful of days before the election.
All I have to say is good luck.
Let me guess, your boyfriend lives in Canada.
Tell me men don't want to have sex with you without actually telling me men don't want to have sex with you. That's what I'm hearing here.
You mean the chick with the shaved head and the piercing in her lip and nostril that weighs 375 pounds? She's not going to be having sex with anybody anytime soon? What are we going to do, Nige? How are we going to survive?
Oh, she's got one of those earrings with the like the 5-inch diameter hole in the earlobe.
Right. She got 3 chins and sideburns. Yeah, it's a shame that she's not going to be putting out for anybody anytime soon.
All right, good luck with that, ladies.
And yes, I can make these jokes because I am fat too.
Oh.
See? That's how we get around that. Abdul can say things to the black community nobody else can, and I can make fun of these fat hogs because I'm fat too. You all right?
Oh, my God.
Green hair, got like 3 piercings in the bottom lip, the big hole in the ear.
She's got to use the people mover at Kroger to get around.
Right. She's got fast food grease stains all over these stretchy pants that have been stretched to the point to where no pants should be stretched before.
Backing up in the donut aisle. Beep, beep.
Okay,
beep,
stop,
beep.
stop.
Oh, wow. Allison just put a stop. Oh, man. All right.
Is this anything?
What else? What else?
Australia might ban social media for kids under the age of 16. Social media sites would have to take reasonable steps to prevent access, and parents wouldn't be able to opt out. Here is the Prime Minister of Australia talking about big-time censorship for kids under 16.
This one's for the mums and dads.
Mums and dads.
Social media is doing harm to our kids, and I'm calling time on it. The onus will be on social media platforms to demonstrate they are taking reasonable steps to prevent access. The onus won't be on parents or young people.
I don't know if it should be banned, but I think there should be more restrictions.
But I don't think all social media is bad. I just think it should be very heavily limited.
It's just like really easy to bully people.
Shane Gillis, a comedian, was right. Every time you hear an Australian accent, you just want to laugh. Play it again. Play the beginning again, Allison. I just want to hear his.
This one's for the mums and dads.
You're right.
Man.
Shane Gillis is right.
I mean, Australia is so authoritarian. I mean, just go back to look and see what they did during COVID. It was 100 times worse than anything you saw here in the United States. And now it's all about ban, take. Can we just let the parents do the work here? Hey, if you don't want your kids on social media, don't let your kids on social media. No need to step in with the government and make it a thing.
Let's go back to the previous story for just a moment. These women that are not going to be having relations because Donald Trump is the president.
Yes.
Here are some comments on the YouTube thread.
No.
Quote, my 600-pound life. Quote, Mike Pence used to sit in that chair right over there. And then on Twitter, on X, Rich tweets at us, and just like that, Trump solved the abortion issue.
Oh, jeez.
See? You got to look at the glass half full. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
My wife and I are longtime customers and friends of Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. For the last 97 years, they've given Central Indiana the best mattresses at the best prices with free delivery and interest-free financing. So now through Monday, save up to $800 on Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Plus, queen mattresses start at $399. It's the back-to-sleep sale going on now through Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Owned and operated by the same Hoosier family since 1927. And when everybody else is raising up their prices, they still have free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles of their store in Columbus. They take care of you guys. They take care of us here on the Hammer and Nigel show. So if you need a couch, a love seat, a mattress, you name it, Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus is where you need to go. ThompsonFurniture.net. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
I had the ring already. She had made it very clear what kind of ring she wanted.
Yep.
I pretended that I was going to kneel and picked up a pine cone instead of pulling out a ring.
What a jerk. But when I saw that ring, I was like, oh, he did good.
I really love Amy. I really, really genuinely love Amy.
I love you too.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
In the fight against lung cancer, it's game on, game strong. Franciscan Health leads the way with robotic technology to find and treat cancer sooner. Our entire team of multidisciplinary experts let cancer know it's hard to play against us. Franciscan Health is changing the game for lung cancer patients. Schedule a consultation or second opinion today. Visit franciscanhealth.org/lungcancercare.
In a divorce, it's important to have a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell, a domestic litigation and family law firm. We champion your rights as an individual and your role as a parent, taking an aggressive approach in court while leveling the legal playing field in domestic matters. That's what a champion does. That's what Cordell & Cordell can do for you. Visit us at CordellCordell.com.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He thinks she's a good pick. 62 degrees, partly cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. There's nothing to worry about on your radar, low of about 45 later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. One of your state reps is talking about Donald Trump's pick for chief of staff. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Indiana U.S. Senator-elect Jim Banks says Susie Wiles is the perfect choice to run the White House. He says Trump learned some valuable lessons from his first time in office.
She knows Donald Trump, and Donald Trump trusts her. That will make her an effective chief of staff and help the White House run in a better way than what it did for the first 4 years that Donald Trump was president.
Banks says the biggest lesson that Trump learned is vetting people who work for him to make sure they support his agenda. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A verdict still has not been reached in the Delphi murders trial. This woman is not so sure the state had a case to prove suspect Richard Allen guilty.
There's not enough. There's just not enough to prove that he actually did it. Everything was botched up by the police in the beginning. Things weren't done. Evidence missing. There's a lot.
The woman says she's just been following the case for years. The jury deliberated for about 8 hours today before calling it a day. The Justice Department is charging 3 people who are accused of being part of an Iranian plot to kill Donald Trump. All 3 have been charged with murder for hire. 2 of them are under arrest. The 3rd suspect still at large. 2 people were hurt when a house exploded Tuesday evening. Jake McDaniel reports.
Firefighters went to the home on West 950 Street just after everyone in the house escaped. The fire was so bad they had to call in backup from other neighboring departments. The 2 people were taken to the hospitals where they are recovering, and firefighters are investigating. They haven't said how the explosion happened, but they think a gas leak couldn't have been the cause. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Purdue basketball is back in action tonight in this young college basketball season. Head coach Matt Painter would like his team to play some better defense in game number 2.
We got to do a better job of containing the dribble. We got to do a better job of keeping the ball out of the paint. I think that's when a lot of good things are going to happen.
The Boilermakers play Northern Kentucky at 7. They are 1-for-1 of the season so far. And a solid way to end the week in the market. The Dow finishing up by 259 to 43,988. The NASDAQ rose by 17 points to 19,286. And the S&P 500 increasing by 22 to finish at 5,995. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 4:33.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indie. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director of We Grow Hair Indie, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indie, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your hair evaluation. 317-522-2995 or go to WeGrowHairIndie.com and grow your hair back today.
The traffic at 434. What's going on, Alan Green?
Hey, Harrison. 465 eastbound is pretty solid from the dogleg to ditch where a crash has the left lane blocked. Now, before that, northbound 465 is heavy from 86 up to the dogleg. And in addition, there's a crash on the exit ramp to 86. On 465 westbound, Meridian to Michigan, traffic jams up with some gapers to that accident. 65 southbound hits the brakes from King right down to the north split. This report brought to you by B-Window. Don't miss the annual B-Window Black Friday sale. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer's rebates, and no payments, no interest for 20 months. Now proud to be employee-owned. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It looks like as we move towards Friday night, skies will be partly cloudy. Low temperatures will drop to the lower 40s and winds will be out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy with a high temperature around 62 tomorrow. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Hammer's here. We got boy, this feud got pretty good. This comedian, Pete Dominic, hates Trump. Like, I'm looking at this comedian's X file. Let's see. He's got a pinned tweet that says, "I'm so effing fired up. I am so committed to this campaign and beating Donald Trump and his white supremacist, Christian, nationalist, fascist move." A lot of this. Right. Let's effing go. I plan to do everything I can in the swing state to get Kamala Harris elected.
Narrator. It didn't work.
That was from July 30th. That this guy's a comedian.
I've never heard of Pete
really
Dominic.
Hilarious.
Like, I watch a lot of comedy, and I have no idea who Pete Dominic is.
Kind of a bold doofus guy. I mean, look, he's a comedian. He's got 50,000 followers. He's on national TV. He's just... I kind of got his ass handed to him on CNN, though.
For some reason, he was on the panel talking about the presidential election, and he wanted to go toe-to-toe with Scott Jennings. Now, Scott used to work at the Bush administration. He's been really good as the token Republican on CNN's panel.
But token, I would say maybe use a different word, token. I would say, because token maybe to some people implies like who's that chick on The View that like was a Republican but liked everything about
Alyssa Farah. I know who you're talking about.
I mean, this guy's he's not a token. He believes in what he's saying, and he's been on CNN for several years now.
Right.
Only recently a standout.
You're right. What I meant from that is, if CNN didn't want to have a Republican on there, he wouldn't be there. Like, I feel like their management says, screw it. We need a Republican.
Yeah.
Give us this guy over here. And unlike MSNBC, where they bring in Kinzinger and Liz Cheney.
Yeah, absolutely.
He actually fights back. So let's get into it here. Scott Jennings of CNN discussing where the Biden/Harris ticket administration started to decline. And take a listen here, because you're going to hear this comedian guy, Pete Dominick, jump in and just act like a total fanboy for Kamala Harris.
If you look at the arc of the Biden presidency, he was in really good shape until August of 2021. When Afghanistan happened, he went under 40, she went under 40, and they really lived there until the end of the presidency. He's still there.
Why?
Look, I'll tell you why. Because he ran and told us that the adults were back in charge. And that was the opposite.
Yeah, they
of
were,
that.
because Donald Trump was a child.
And you know what else?
Yeah.
And you know what else? The fact that they wouldn't give these 13 service members' families the time of day.
Dude.
The time of day.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but Donald Trump hates veterans.
Wow.
He called them suckers and losers.
What a hoax.
He did. He absolutely, despite, he has his whole life. He has his entire life.
I know you're super emotional. I just.
Of course I am. I'm terrified.
I'm telling you, the political reality is that when they made that decision.
It doesn't matter. But you don't admit
that
Donald Trump hates veterans. You don't admit it. You deny a man, Chief John Kelly, a Marine. You deny. You say he lied.
You're still campaigning.
You say he lied. It's not over. It'll never be over.
It's over, brother. It's over.
Oh, man, that's a comedian?
Yes. And for some reason, he's on this panel discussing serious issues. Like, it's kind of a bizarre booking, but let's hear a little bit more and see how this plays out.
The political reality is when they made that decision and everyone realized, oh my gosh, these aren't the competent adults that we were promised.
Donald Trump is.
And then when you pile on top of it the decisions that made inflation worse, it was a compounding interest of political crap over time that they could never get out of.
The wars in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, the Republican policies that led to those wars, the idea that Joe Biden made the final difficult decision, and his administration and his military leaders. I mean, you guys live on the tippy top of bullshit mountain if you actually think that so many people think that the pullout of Afghanistan was the pivot point. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, I can read a chart and I can read a poll. I guess you can't. But the reality is when he made that decision,
petty insults.
When he made that
so weak, dude. You have no idea. Like, I don't even understand if you hear yourself talking. Look, you can laugh all you want, but like, I can't read a chart. Like, it's
just a second.
It's so hacky. It's so uninteresting.
Look, the reason that we
unconvincing.
brought this up is because.
And that, my friends, is what it sounds like when you have your ass handed to you. Let's go back to that whole thing where this comedian, Pete Dominick, says that Trump hates veterans. And he's using the suckers and losers hoax. It was just last week that we had Jessie Jane Duff on, the gunnery sergeant. She's the head executive of Veterans for Trump. Put your seatbelt on and buckle in, because here's 90 seconds of her laying everything out that Pete Dominick had to say.
Well, it's absolutely absurd that they want to keep running with the suckers and losers. Every time we hear that, we know that that was debunked how many times. And I'm sorry, General Kelly was, really a defective man to get into the White House. It's quite evident by everybody who worked with him. He was unhappy in that role. He became an office manager. This is a four-star general walking in thinking he's going to have everybody paying attention to him. And he was disgruntled from day one. And when he left that office, he was supposed to stay and give Mulvaney transition, and he never showed back up. I'm sorry. The ego preceded himself, and that is a fact. We have over 230 admirals and flag officers, basically generals and admirals, that signed a letter of endorsement for President Trump, and General Kelly's name is not on that. And that letter was signed actually 3 weeks before General Kelly decided he was going to go on his Hear Me Now roar tour with his, Trump's a Hitler comment, which nobody can validate. Not a single witness to anything. But let's go back. Kamala Harris has never honored the military. She is full of it. 13 people died. She never said their names. The 13 Gold Star families never met with her. She has never even showed up when they were invited. They were invited to the ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and they decided they were invited twice, as a matter of fact, and they decided to snub it and not show up. That is such flagrant disrespect. She never mentioned the names of the 3 National Guardsmen that were killed by the Houthi drone. What is she going to do for the military? She's going to guarantee that we stay in war and your sons and daughters will get drafted to support their addiction of supporting the military-industrial complex.
And you know what that comedian's response would be to Gunnery Sergeant Jessie Jane Duff right there? It'd be the same it was to Scott Jennings. That's BS, man. BS.
You're right.
That's the response?
That was his argument.
That was his argument? That would be his response to the gunnery sergeant. BS, man. BS.
Scott Jennings and the gunnery sergeant came at you with firsthand accounts and facts and polling and numbers. And Pete Dominic just came at you with, Trump hates veterans. Okay.
Keep laughing, dude. Keep laughing.
Do we want to try to do caller roulette? Because we've tried it like a couple times recently, and because our phone system, I believe, was manufactured by Alexander Graham Bell, it hasn't worked. Do we want to roll the dice? Do you feel lucky, Nige?
Well, do we have... yeah, okay, fine.
Let's try it.
I mean, I was having problems with the phones in the other studio earlier this morning.
All right, so here's what's going to happen.
So,
you call in right now. We're going to try to do caller roulette. 239-9393. If you want to talk election, if you want to talk Republicans, Democrats, whatever, if you want to talk Delphi, if you just want to tell a stupid joke, whatever it is, it's caller roulette. Anything goes. But the question is, will the phones work? 239-9393. That's the number. We'll see what happens. Maybe caller roulette next.
Well, I will always be an American Standard customer. I will always use American Standard equipment. I have American Standard dealers coming out to my house to maintain and take care of that equipment. Nobody does it better. Here's Hammer talking about one of those fine, independent, local American Standard dealers right here in Indy.
Family Heating and Air Conditioning, the Morris family and their staff ready to hook you up this fall. You could call Rachel, Marcus, or Malia today to make sure that furnace is safe and ready to go when that cold weather eventually makes its way in. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion in case the quote you got from another company doesn't feel right. Nobody cares for you like family. Call them today, 317-577-8077. Ask about how to get better indoor air quality, 317-577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
Research shows smoking costs Indiana businesses $3.1 billion every year. It also shows that an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes would drastically reduce smoking, which could save lives, create jobs, and infuse the state of Indiana with hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Read the reports from the Richard M. Fairbanks Foundation at thepriceofsmoking.org and see for yourself how an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes can have a positive impact on Hoosiers.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life.
All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions, so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll at healthcare.gov by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Don't want the worry of maintaining your furnace or air conditioner? Join B&W's Premier Club today. Visit bplusw.com/radio to learn more. B&W is your independent American Standard Air dealer.
Reach your fitness goals in 2024 with the 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Tailgate this Sunday from 10 to 1 at the parking lot at McCarty and Church Street before the Colts-Bills game, presented by Jack Daniels and Twin Peaks. Register to win tickets to the game and $100 in Colts cash from Bud Light. No purchase necessary.
Alan Green, what's up?
Thanks. Hey, Hammer, 465 eastbound at Ditch. Got a crash blocking the left lane. Traffic is jammed back from the dog leg. A tow just pulled up onto the scene. Now, as a result, 465 northbound is also heavy from 86 up to the dog leg. 465 southbound is very heavy between 70 and 74. 65 southbound hits the brakes between King and the North Split. This report brought to you by B-Window. Don't miss the annual B-Window Black Friday sale. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer's rebates, and no payments, no interest for 20 months. Now proud to be employee-owned. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
61 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Let's give it a try.
Buckle up. Anything can happen here.
Oh, hell yeah. Let it ride. Let it ride.
Yeah. Hammer and Nigel present Caller Roulette.
Truer words have never been spoken. Anything can happen here. Most of these people on hold, I have no idea what their name is because Allison can't understand them through the phone line. I'm just surprised the phone line's actually working.
Me too.
So, if you're on hold, with the exception of one person, I don't know what your name is. So be ready when I come to you. Allison, do we have the dump button ready? Let's go. You guys, keep it clean, keep it short. Eric, I think that's your name. Welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. Go ahead.
Yeah, 2 things real quick. One, Allison, she does a hell of a job, compliments the show really well. Good job.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, and 2, I had a hell of a time at Night Out with WIBC this year. No way, you guys didn't have it.
Oh.
Sorry, thanks.
Yeah.
We had the debate night party.
We did, but a night with WIBC did not happen this year.
Just some logistics didn't work out this year, man.
We'll try it again, hopefully next year. Let's go to line number 2. Caller, what's your name?
This is Ben. This is the 30 beers and breaking jaws guy.
What's up, Ben? What's going on?
Hey, I got a serious question. This Delphi case, I've not actually heard your guys' verdict before the verdict comes out. What do you think? I mean, like I said, this guy's been locked up, and it's really hard to stay here and wonder if this guy is actually guilty. And when they have DNA of someone else, how can you lock someone up with the minimum that they have, if any at all? I just don't see what this is. What is your verdict? I haven't heard you guys say it at all.
Sure. Based on the information that we have received, and I'll speak for myself, I can't speak for Nige, I do not believe the state has provided enough evidence without reasonable doubt to convict Richard Allen.
Yeah, I don't think there's reasonable doubt.
I'm not saying Richard Allen is innocent.
I think there is.
I'm not saying Richard Allen is a good guy.
I understand that.
But I don't think the state has done a good job of saying, this is him, he did it, he murdered these girls without reasonable doubt.
Now,
those are the key 2 words.
Ben brought up DNA. I am told on Twitter, at least that I was looking at in the mentions, that you can convict somebody without DNA.
Okay. Okay,
So,
well, I mean, you're
far as
crossing your
DNA
fingers if you're the prosecution then, right? Because you don't have any. Let's go to line number 3. Caller, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Thank you. Gary in Columbus here, Hammer.
C-Bus, rock and roll down in Columbus. What's up?
Hey, you know what makes me sick?
What's that?
All these lunatics, man, on Facebook that are melting down because of this election. And I got family members even in there calling me every name in the book because I voted for Trump. The one name that gets me is the misogynist name. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Cardi B make an appearance at Kamala's, one of her last rallies?
Yes, the teleprompter broke down.
I went back and read the words to her wonderful hit song, WAP. Come on, man.
Yep.
We got to have Gary recite the words to.
No, we don't. No. That's a horrible, horrible idea, Nigel. For the love of God, do not.
Gary from Columbus, now about to read to you WAP.
No. But he makes a great point about the hypocrisy here, right? The same people crying on Facebook, what am I supposed to tell my daughter? I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't have called people Nazis for 4 straight years. I don't know.
That.
Let's go to line 4. Welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. Caller, go ahead. Turn your phone down.
Hello?
Number 4, go ahead.
Hello?
Hello.
Go ahead.
Oh, hey.
Hello there.
Hello, this is Roger from Muncie.
Roger, good old Funcy. What's up, man?
Hey, man, I just want to tell you I'm really ticked off.
About?
I unblocked Rob Reiner on Twitter last night and just simply asked him, why don't you go set yourself on fire? And bam, they suspended me for a week.
Oh.
Can you imagine that?
Well, I've been suspended for less than that, so yes, I can imagine that. But
self-immolation might be a contender there.
Might be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Let's go to line number 5. And again, we have no idea what these people's names are because of our phone system here. But caller, what's up? What's your name?
Josh, driving on 70, stuck in traffic. How are you guys doing today?
Good,
Josh, man, we're doing good. What's on your mind?
First off, I just got to say I love the show. Listen to you guys almost every day as often as I can. Thank you guys for what you guys are doing.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
So my question is that I voted Trump. My girlfriend voted for the first time, and she voted Trump. Her sister hated Biden, but wanted Kamala. And now her and a couple of her other siblings are on this political warfare. And what should I do? Should I leave them alone, or should I just let them weep in their own, reap what they sow?
I would leave them alone.
Yeah.
Hammer would say differently, I think, but.
I want to have a little fun and try to understand their view a little bit better because admittedly, I don't.
You'll never be able to understand.
First of all, stop trying to understand women. That's mistake number 1. Just give up hope. In general, right? But number 2, if I know Democrats the way that I do, just wait for the new shiny object to roll around and they'll be passionate about that. Wait till there's a story about Zelensky. Wait till there's a climate change story. Wait till there's a Scream at the Sky rally and they'll be out of your hair. It's going to be fine. Thank you guys so much for your calls. If we didn't get to you, we're sorry. Guy Relford, Donnie Burgess, next.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings did such an incredible job putting a fresh, new, glossy, gritty coat over my garage floor. Made it look like something brand new. They did such a wonderful job. I want them to come do that in my furnace room in my basement as well, because my new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. It's 4 times as strong. They don't use epoxy. They use polyurea. That's the new standard when we're talking about garage coatings or anything concrete, from a concrete area, pool to basement, pool deck, anything like that. Call Galaxy Concrete to get your garage coating now. See pictures, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070.
Miss M's Home and Garden and Sundown Gardens fall sale is still on. 30 to 50% off all trees and shrubs in stock. It's a great time to finish up your landscape for next year, and if you're ready to start interior holiday decorating, they have you covered. Stop in and shop those stunning displays filled with the best quality Christmas decor. Holiday open houses are coming the weekend before Thanksgiving. Miss M's in Bargersville on State Road 135 south of Whiteland Road. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield.
The holidays are a magical time to get engaged. At Shane Company, we're here to help you create your dream engagement ring in just 3 easy steps. Choose a setting that speaks to your style. Compare diamonds and colorful gemstones in all shapes and sizes. Then personalize it with a decorative crown and special engraving. Or choose a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. At Shane Company, you'll find everyday competitive prices, a no-pressure environment, and an unmatched free lifetime warranty. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
A true partner in your health dedicates time to understanding your needs. At CenterWell Senior Primary Care, doctors make one-on-one time with you a priority, so you can get all your questions answered and feel more confident in your health care. See how it feels to have a team of senior care experts working together to help you feel your best. CenterWell, it's about time. Schedule a tour today at meetcenterwell.com. That's meetcenterwell.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Can you hear me? So can your customers.
Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now.
Get results with Radio 1.
Save $40 before the holidays with Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129, plus $75 off duct cleaning too. ZeroResIndy.com.
Your local news coming up in 2 minutes after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Iran is out for revenge. Lisa Brady, Fox News, believed to be targeting President-elect Trump over the killing of a top Iranian general during the first Trump administration. A federal indictment unsealed today, charging an unnamed Revolutionary Guard official and a suspect believed to be in Iran with planning an assassination attempt.
A statement from FBI Director Christopher Wray. He says the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, a designated foreign terrorist organization, has been conspiring with criminals and hitmen to target and gun down Americans on U.S. soil, and that simply won't be tolerated. Thanks to the hard work of the FBI, their deadly schemes were disrupted.
Fox's David Spunt in Washington. Special counsel Jack Smith is moving to drop the federal election interference case against the president-elect, putting it under review after the election results. The Justice Department has a long-standing policy not to prosecute sitting presidents. Smith could also abandon his effort to revive a Trump classified documents case. Vice President-elect J.D. Vance returns to Capitol Hill, still an Ohio senator for now.
But he is also still a dad. And at this hour, Vance is taking his son Ewan and his Boy Scout troop on a tour of the U.S. Capitol. Now, this is Vance's first time on Capitol Hill after the election. He will serve as president of the Senate next year.
Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol. Republicans have already flipped the Senate with 2 races yet to be called. Harris running mate Tim Walz is still the Minnesota governor.
It's hard to understand while so many of our fellow citizens, people that we have fought so long and hard for, wound up choosing the other path.
In his first post-election remarks, saying it's hard to lose. New milestones on Wall Street. The Dow topping 44K, the S&P topping 6,000, both finishing under those thresholds, but still with a record close for each. The Dow up 259, the NASDAQ also extending its record. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
No verdict yet. Partly cloudy, 60 degrees downtown. Don't bother checking your radar. There's no rain. 45 is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. A decision on Richard Allen's guilt has not been decided yet. Tony Burgess reports on jury deliberations in the Delphi murders trial.
The jury is certainly taking its time, and it makes sense. It's a big decision. They have the fate of Richard Allen in their hands. They took about 2 hours to discuss the case on Thursday, and Friday they took about 8 hours. So altogether, the jury is heading into day 3 with plenty of hours of discussion and thought and argument already out there on the table. But other than that, media, public, police, any other personnel, we won't know anything until the jury wants us to. Reporting in Delphi, Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Kentrail Small was shot by IMPD SWAT officers on August 23rd earlier this year. The department released body cam footage this afternoon when a narcotics warrant sent officers to a motel off Pendleton Pike near North Post Road. Small and a woman were getting out of the bathroom when officers broke into his motel room. That footage shows officers trying to arrest Small, who was seen with a gun in his hand before he was shot in the body cam footage. IMPD says their investigation's far from over. If you haven't heard, Donald Trump has named Susie Wiles as his chief of staff, becoming the first woman to hold the position. Jim Banks, who was elected by Hoosiers to the U.S. Senate earlier this week, likes the move.
She knows Donald Trump, and Donald Trump trusts her. That will make her an effective chief of staff and help the White House run in a better way than what it did for the first 4 years that Donald Trump was president. Donald Trump was a great president. He's going to be an even better president.
Banks will be replacing Mike Braun as one of Indiana's 2 senators. The Republican was endorsed by Trump. Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman will not be playing in this weekend's game against Buffalo. He's been dealing with both a back and finger injury. Colts head coach Shane Steichen said this afternoon that Pittman's back has been giving him the most trouble.
I mean, he's been battling like crazy. We're taking this thing week to week. Like I've said before, one of the toughest guys ever been around.
Steichen's hopeful Pittman can be back next week. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
A radio lead is a serious lead, and our sales percentages reflect that tremendously.
How can a partnership with WIBC serve your business?
My name is Jim Williams, and I am the owner of Galaxy Concrete Coatings.
Qualified leads.
I think it was about 2004 that I was approached about radio advertising. Didn't really think it was going to help me much. But the interesting thing is over a period of 5 years, it got stronger and stronger every year. You know, we have like 10, sometimes 20 different ads that we're running.
Deliver your message to the audience that matters.
Radio is the first thing we start with because you do get calls that you can set leads and create sales from.
Text business to 71007 to take your advertising to the next level.
We close like 40% of a radio ad. We close like 20 to 25% of our other mass media ads. I mean, that's a home run.
Get results with WIBC.
The traffic at 5:05. Here's Alan Green.
Hey, Harrison, 465 northbound jams up between 86th and the dog leg. And then on the north side, it is heavy from there to ditch, where an earlier accident is just cleared. 465 southbound slows up from Pendleton Pike to 74. On 65 southbound, see brake lights between King and the North Split. 70 eastbound jams between Tibbs and Meridian. This report brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It looks like as we move towards Friday night, skies will be partly cloudy. Low temperatures will drop to the lower 40s and winds will be out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy with a high temperature around 62 tomorrow. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom. He is up in Delphi. We are waiting for the jury's decision. They're still deliberating. Donnie, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a 4 p.m. cutoff time set by the judge in this trial. We've gone past that, and the jury has since gone back to the hotel. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's 4 p.m. every day is basically when they can leave if they want to. And they can go past it if they want to tell the judge they would like to discuss a little bit more. But both
Thursday and today they left before 4 o'clock. Now, they did make it a little closer to 4 today. You know, the big thing about Thursday was they took off, pretty early. But today they definitely took many hours, got started at 9 o'clock, and they were out of there just before 4 o'clock.
Now, do they deliberate on Saturday?
Yeah, they will deliberate on Saturday again until 4 o'clock unless they would like to stay longer. However, we did hear outside of the courthouse, someone has made the decision for them to start at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We heard that they asked the judge if they could do so, but we also just heard in general it's going to start at 10 o'clock. Not quite sure what that's about.
Donnie, what is the atmosphere like outside the courthouse there in where you're located? What is the tone, the tenor, the emotion? What are people saying? Is it just media folk, or is it like, are there spectators? What civilians there? Who's all hanging around there?
Oh, you want to talk about some atmosphere? Outside of the courthouse was everything Delphi, and I don't mean that about the town. I mean that about all of the crazy things you've heard about the case. It was packed with the most media I have seen this entire time, the most amount of police. The public was lined up like crazy at like 8 o'clock this morning. And I've got some stories. There are some incredible characters that have showed up. There were incredibly strong anti-Richard Allen people on like one end of the sidewalk, pro-Richard Allen on the other end of the sidewalk. There were dozens and dozens and dozens of signs that I've put pictures on social media, people walking around with signs, a little pushing and shoving, a little police breaking up of things, and we can get into that if you want to hear about it.
Yeah, real quick before we go to Guy Relford here, because he's also standing by on the hotline. Donnie, you remember when the riots were happening here in Indy and all over the country? A lot of those were organized. They seemed organized. People were passing out signs as soon as they came downtown. Do you get the feeling that the things that you're seeing are organized, or is this kind of an organic thing?
Oh, it's absolutely organized. Apparently, if you look online at Local Guy Donnie on Twitter or the WIBC Facebook page, you will see that I took pictures of a bunch of chairs on the sidewalk. And what happened is apparently a bunch of content creators and others came up with their own line sitting system, and they have taken pieces of paper and duct taped them to the sidewalk, writing whose space is whose.
I just retweeted you at Hammer and Nigel, by the way.
Yeah, and then people showed up. With signs. I mean, full things of art supplies, markers, and poster boards. And I got quite the funny comment from one of the police officers there in Delphi. He said, "Look, I'm happy to see they've created their own little colony on the sidewalk, but we're not enforcing that. When those doors open, it's free for all. So, good luck." But your question, organized? Yes, absolutely.
So let's go to the other hotline here and bring on Guy Relford, attorney at law, defense attorney, 2A firearms instructor. Guy, you heard Donnie right there. Another day of no decision from the jury, but they're also not taking the full allotted time. What do we make of this?
Conclusions you can come to, Jason. It's the jury's going to take as long as it takes. I've had cases where it turns out the jury was relatively sure of how they were going to come back as far as their verdict goes, and still wanted to go through each bit of critical evidence and talk about it and discuss it. That's just the way they decided to approach the case. The conventional wisdom is that the longer a jury deliberates, it probably favors the defendant because it makes it more likely, for instance, they can come to a hung jury, which means there is no verdict. At that point, the state has to decide whether they want to have another trial and start over, or that there may be some holdouts for a guilty verdict, and eventually they're talked into voting not guilty, and it comes back not guilty. But that's all completely speculation and reading tea leaves. And having been through this process for 41 years, I really think you make a mistake if you draw any assumptions at all just based on how long a jury is deliberating.
Well, Hammer, your murder trial that you were a part of, how long did you guys deliberate?
So, again, we told this story before, but for those who are new to the show here, those little 5-6 years that I was not working in radio, when I was not a media member and I was working at the casino in Shelbyville, I was called to be a juror. And it was for a high-profile murder in Indianapolis. It was actually 2 people on trial for the same murder. There were 2 brothers that were painting a house on Gray Street. One brother was shot and killed and robbed. The other one ran and called the police. The 2 suspects, right? One was the trigger man. The other was a minor. I think he was 16 at the time, and he blocked the porch where the crime took place so nobody could escape. He was assisting with the crime, and then he stole some cell phones from the deceased, went on the run, and that is how he was caught. So this was a pretty high-profile murder trial. It was in the news. There was media coverage. The trigger man in this trial was the guy who also did those brutal home invasions on the north side. So he was already in jail serving sentences for that. But this was a separate crime he was being tried on. So we got all the information. We saw all the pictures, just like these jurors saw. Crime scene pictures, autopsy pictures, morgue pictures, crime, all that kind of stuff. We go back to deliberate. And the law in Indiana, and Guy, you can back me up on this, even if you're a minor or whatever, if you're with somebody who is committing murder and you do not stop it, you are also on the hook for murder. So if you drive a getaway car, if you block a porch, if you assist in any way, it might be a lesser charge, but you're also on the hook for murder. We had one juror in our pool that was a black guy. He was a teacher at Warren Central High School. And he kept saying over and over again, I refuse to convict a minor if he was not the shooter of the gun. And we were trying to explain to this guy, that's not how the law works. He was with him. He did not stop the murder. He stole the phone from the deceased and went on the run. You're also on the hook for murder. So it took us like 4 or 5 hours to convince this guy, who was basically an activist, that the law in Indiana works this way. And I know myself and a couple other jurors, we had drawn that line in the sand. We were not going to waver on our decision. So maybe that's what's going on here. Guy, I'll defer to you here. Does what I just said make sense?
Oh, yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. And what we're talking about in your case, Jason, is what we call felony murder. And what that actually says is it says that if you're willfully participating in the commission of a felony and it's predictable that somebody could die as a result of your commission of that felony and someone does die, then that's felony murder. And that, I mean, that's how that works. There are minimum ages in terms of minors, or minimum ages for which you can be at which you can be charged with murder, and there are minimum ages that you can be charged with other serious crimes. So if you're over that minimum age where you can be charged with murder, and if you're willfully participating in the commission of a felony, and it's foreseeable on the front end that somebody could die as a result of your commission of that felony, even if you don't kill them, that's called felony murder. And it has, different penalties than first-degree murder, et cetera, but it's still murder, and that's exactly what you described, and it makes perfect sense.
And then what would have happened if that guy wouldn't have budged and stood his ground? Something similar could happen in this Delphi jury trial.
Yeah,
hung jury?
And that's,
what's that mean?
Yeah, hung jury. Verdicts have to be unanimous, whether it's not guilty or guilty. They have to be unanimous. If the jury can't reach a unanimous verdict, they come back. They report through the bailiff to the judge. Hey, we're hung. We're at an impasse. We can't reach a verdict. And what most judges do, at least 2, 3, 4 times, they'll say, no, I don't think you've worked at this long enough. You go back and keep trying. And eventually they'll have them in, and if they say no, we're really, really at an impasse, sometimes they'll even ask them, what the count is. Well, is there, a certain number on one side and a certain number on the other? And oh, yeah, it's 11-1 or it's 6-6. I mean, whatever it might be, then that can guide the judge in terms of whether the judge tells them to go back and keep working. If it's 11-1, they can go, no, why don't you go back and keep working on this? But eventually, if the judge reaches the conclusion that they're truly at an impasse, they're simply not going to reach a verdict, then the judge declares a mistrial based on a hung jury. And at that point, it's to a large degree, it's a victory for the defendant, because then the state has to decide whether they're going to start over and retry that case, schedule a whole nother trial starting from the beginning with jury selection, new jury, the whole spiel. And the way the state usually approaches that, the way the prosecutor's office usually approaches that is, does our case get better or worse with the passage of time in terms of our ability to get a conviction? And then they have to ask themselves whether they want to go forward with another trial. And the answer can be yes. The answer can be no.
And Donnie, I'm going to get the final word from you here in just a moment. But one other aspect that goes into being a juror in these types of heinous situations, and I saw this firsthand, you have sometimes the charged, the suspects, you see them in the courtroom. Sometimes they try to intimidate the jury. They stare daggers at you.
Scowl?
Yes, they scowl. They try to stare you down. It becomes a staring contest. Because, again, there were 2 people charged in the murder that I was a juror on. And I know a couple times I made eye contact with the trigger man and the guy that assisted him, and they would scowl you. They would stare you down, and they're trying to intimidate the jury at that time. So that is something that absolutely happens in these types of trials. Donnie, we got about 30 seconds left here. I know we're running way late, but recap what happened today, what's going on up there, and what we can expect this weekend.
So today was another day of waiting, but you can tell that the jury is definitely taking its time with its decision. As for the atmosphere, I will be back there tomorrow to continue to try and give visuals of what's going on there. But I can say that, police are definitely on top of things. There's people that are bickering at each other. There was a little bit of pushing around here and there on one side of the courthouse. Police were, there to make sure everybody is peaceful. That's pretty much the situation. At this point, we're waiting. We're keeping our ears and our eyes open, and there's no deliberating on Sunday. So if they make it past Saturday, then we're heading to Monday, and this thing is just going to keep on rolling.
How long are you prepared to stay there, Donnie?
Well, I have a very important appointment on Monday, and it's going to have to take precedent over Delphi that morning. But I'm prepared to go through with this thing to the end.
All right, man. Hey, great job as always. You are covering this better than anybody in the city that is in the courtroom, part of the jury pool up there. Keep working, man. And if that jury comes up with a decision tomorrow, you text me, we'll blast it out there, and we'll do something, okay?
Absolutely.
And Guy Relford, you are the best in the business, man. And the response we got from you yesterday doing that mock trial has been fantastic. You've been a rock star during this whole thing, so thank you.
Thanks, brother. It was fun.
All right. Alan Green, sorry about the delay. We had a lot going on here. What's going on with the roads?
Hey, guys. Okay, 465 eastbound stacks up between 70 and Man. 65 southbound still heavy from 29th to about Meridian. 70 eastbound from Tibbs to Meridian, still lots of brake lights. And 465 eastbound between the Dogleg and Ditch, still seeing some traffic there. This report brought to you by Experience Columbus. Holiday cheer is even more cheerful in Columbus. Yes, plan your holiday happenings or weekend getaway at experiencecolumbus.com/holidays. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
All right. Right now, we've got mostly clear skies, 60 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Beer Sample Friday, just about 30 minutes away.
Come on.
This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
This guy named Mark in Danville was building his dream house, but needed out of his current situation to use the funds and cover the cost of the new home. Luckily, he heard about Mark Deedle, the only real estate agent we'd ever trust with the buying and selling of a home on our show. Heard us talking about Mark, and it was obviously the right decision. Mark Deedle sold his home in 3 days over asking.
Mark Deedle is the only real estate agent that we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel show. And it's because of the guarantee. The guarantee is a game changer. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick your move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Call Mark Deedle today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com.
Hey, it's Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, it's our 50% off sale. Save 50% off all Smith Brothers, Lazy Boy, Bassett, plus we pay your sales tax, and we even give you more discounts for cash. That's every sofa, recliner, sectional, lift chair, you name it, it's on sale. Now through Monday, only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery.
Get in gear with fall savings at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get a brand new 2024 Navigator. Get an incredible $10,000 off plus 0% for 60 months. Or get $7,000 off select new 2024 Lincoln Aviators plus 0% for 60 months. So get some of those fall savings at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Qualified buyers with approved credit. Not all buyers will qualify. Taxes and dealer fees extra. Stock number L24412. MSRP 104200. Stock number L24208. MSRP 75300. See dealer for complete details.
Hey, it's Rob Kendall. Join me November 21st at Hi-Fi, a celebrity bartender toast to Moselle Sanders, powered by Jack Daniels. I'll be one of the local celebrities creating a unique craft cocktail for you to enjoy. But here's the twist. You get to be the judge of who created the best cocktail. Not only will you have a great time tasting unique drinks, but you'll also be supporting the Moselle Sanders Foundation. Your tickets starting at just $20 helps us reach our goal of $10,000 to feed 10,000 people this Thanksgiving. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now at hifiindy.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
For service today.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Don't stress about plumbing repairs. Call LD Smith for honest advice and a free second opinion on any estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by B&W HVAC, Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hammer police search is underway after 43 monkeys escaped from a research facility in South Carolina this week.
That's not good.
They were too young to have any testing done on them and too young to carry any diseases. Thank God. Are you okay with this?
No.
Oh.
I'm not okay with this at all.
They don't have any diseases.
How do we know? Or are they just lying to us? Why are they in the research facility if they haven't had any tests or they don't have some sort of disease?
Call Fauci. I don't know.
Right? No, I don't believe a word of what these people are saying, because the story originally, for those who may have heard about this, was that these people went on television and said, there's not really a threat to the community. Like, the word really is a pretty big word here when you're talking about 43 monkeys going rogue. I don't buy the fact that there wasn't a threat to the community, and I refuse to accept the fact that they haven't had any testing done on them. You don't bring a monkey to a research facility and just keep 43 of them as pets.
It's not a zoo.
Right. So, this brings us to great moments in monkey history.
Of course it does.
And this is why I say that word really is a big deal. Listen to this woman's story. This is from, I think it was somewhere in the Midwest. A monkey had escaped and threatened to rip her ear off.
I looked out the window and there was a monkey looking at me, and I took a second take and I was like, there's a monkey on the front porch. He was trying to get into my house, the little button that you push in on your screen door. He had broke it off. I was literally hanging on to the door trying to hold my door closed. He crawled, jumped up my back and landed on my head, grabbed handfuls of hair and just ripped it out, and then ripped my ear almost completely off of my head.
No threat to the community. There's just 43 of those little bastards running around. Really? Great moments in monkey history. Ladies and gentlemen, Cousin Eddie.
I ain't seen a beating like that since somebody stuck a banana in my pants and turned the monkey loose.
That was me in football betting a couple weeks ago. And last but certainly not least, you know we could not do a segment on monkeys without the monkeypox theme song.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Monkeypox, monkeypox, oh monkey, 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 monkeypox, monkeypox, oh monkey, 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 monkeypox, monkeypox.
Wait for it.
Monkey, 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 monkeypox.
There it is. Alex Marlo of Breitbart is coming up next. He's their editor-in-chief. Beer Sample Friday coming up in just a little bit. We're going to kick off the weekend. We're going to kick off Sectional Championship Friday. But first, Harrison Silcox has the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You'll have to wait longer for a verdict. 62 degrees, partly cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. There's no rain on your radar. Low of about 45 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending. At 5:30, the jury still has yet to reach a verdict in the Delphi murders trial. This woman was one of many outside the Carroll County Courthouse today.
And I've been in it from day one, and I've always showed my support for the girls for true justice. Because that's what matters, is true justice.
She was helping people that make signs to show how they feel about how the case has been handled. Some folks have been critical of law enforcement and Judge Fran Gall during the whole process. Richard Allen is the man accused of killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German. An IMPD SWAT team was called to a motel off Pendleton Pike near North Post Road last August 23rd for a narcotic search. Kentrail Small was the suspect, locked in a motel room. IMPD says they used sirens to try and get him to surrender, but that didn't happen. Once inside, Small and a woman were seen getting out of the bathroom. That's when police tried to arrest Small. You can see in the body cam footage, Small had reached for a gun while the cops were trying to put him in handcuffs. IMPD is still investigating the shooting. They could be doing that for about another year. 3 suspects have been charged by the Justice Department after being accused of a plot to kill Donald Trump. One of them is still on the loose.
The man they are looking for on the run right now, a 51-year-old who is allegedly working directly with the Iranian regime on a plan to kill the president-elect. His name is Farhad Shakiri, and authorities believe that he's in Iran. According to a criminal complaint, Shakiri demanded large sums of money for working on this plot to kill Trump. As stated in the criminal complaint, Shakiri indicated to an IRGC official that this would cost a huge amount of money. In response, the official said, quote, "We have already spent a lot of money, so the money's not an issue."
That's Fox's David Spunt reporting. And a Colts wide receiver, Michael Pittman, will not be playing this Sunday against the Buffalo Bills because of a back and finger injury. Head coach Shane Steichen is hoping he could maybe return next week.
It could. It definitely could. We're going to take it week to week, like I said. We'll go through the process and see how it goes.
Kickoff for this Sunday's game is at 1 p.m. A win would give the Colts 5 wins and just as many losses on the year. With traffic at 5:32, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. 465 southbound slows up from 70 to 74. 465 eastbound heavy Kentucky to Man. On 65 southbound, a delay between 29th and King. 69 southbound heavy from 96 to 465. And 70 eastbound before Belmont, there's a new crash reported. This report brought to you by B Window. Don't miss the annual B Window Black Friday sale. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% of manufacturer's rebates and no payments, no interest for 20 months. Now proud to be employee-owned. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It looks like as we move towards Friday night, skies will be partly cloudy. Low temperatures will drop to the lower 40s and winds will be out of the northeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy with a high temperature around 62 tomorrow. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. It's Jason Hammer right over there. Let's not waste any time. Get to the hotline and bring on Breitbart News editor-in-chief, host of the all-new Alex Marlo Show. Alex, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been an absolutely amazing week. I would say, I don't know about you guys, I'm getting a little sleepy. I think it's time to go take a nap sometime coming up here. But does it get much better? I don't know. I don't know if it does.
I'm just confused because all the corporate legacy media for months was telling us it's going to be a razor-thin outcome. The margins are so small. The polling, blah, blah, blah. And then you wake up the next morning and it's a shellacking. It's like he won the popular vote. All the swing states. How do you explain that to somebody maybe on the periphery, like an average Democrat that just kind of watches the news and thought, wait a minute, you guys told me something totally different?
You guys always find the best places to start. This is where I've been saying this. What's so funny, because I live in a very diverse neighborhood, not just racially, though it is racially diverse, but it's basically a 50-50 district, our district out in California. It's currently 51-49. They got 74% of the vote in on the congressional race. Good guys are winning, so high hopes there. But it's a really mixed area, and so people vaguely have a sense of what I do for work, and that's the question I'm getting. I'm getting a what the heck were they telling us? They were telling us we had it. And I was saying, yeah, but they're not credible. And they all hang out together. They're all bubbled. I recommend a little book called Breaking the News that I wrote about 4 years ago about this exact topic. And they're in the bag for corporate America, and they're in the bag for each other. And they don't want to bum each other out. And we added to the fake news this time the fake polls. Nate Silver called it herding, where all the pollsters were saying stuff in order to save face amongst themselves. And when you really looked at the data and the momentum and the issues and the vibes, aside from establishment media, it was pretty clear in retrospect for everyone, and it was clear probably for us for a long time, that Trump really had a huge edge going into this election.
Alex, Jason Hammer here, and to piggyback off of that, the legacy media, if you want to call it that, kept saying that this was going to be an election about women. Women were going to decide it. But really, it was a lot of men who were tired of being told that Doug Emhoff is the new face of masculinity. Sure. It was men who didn't want their daughters changing in locker rooms with dudes, and even the Amish men. Somehow the Dems pissed off the Amish men, and they were going in droves to vote.
Yeah, well, Pennsylvania, I mean, they couldn't have had a bigger gift for us in that regard. I mean, it was like they're trying to lose it with the Harris-Walz ticket because they passed over Josh Shapiro for vice president, but Kamala Harris said she wants to be on fracking. So, I mean, she took it back, but we all heard her say it. She wanted to, so there's a very bad Pennsylvania strategy for them. I don't even know if we needed the Amish. Even though we love the Amish, we only have the best Amish. We only have the best Amish. But your point about how the women driving the election was just wishful thinking, and that's what the media engaged in. They tried to manifest something going to become true by just wishing hard enough. And the women, suburban women, broke for Trump. Every minority group edged towards Trump, aside from, I think, atheists and I think old rich women. Like almost every group was moving towards Trump. And some of the things that were discounted were that there were pro-choice Trump voters.
Yes.
Women who probably weren't happy Roe v. Wade got overturned, but are really unhappy about grocery prices and that their daughters have to share locker rooms with dudes now. And those people might, in their personal lives, like abortions, but it's not the only thing that animates them. And I think there's a good crop of the country we learn that feels that way.
So the big question is, we're speaking with Alex Marlo, Breitbart News editor-in-chief. The big question is, will Democrats get the message? And what message is that? And how do they operate moving forward?
Yeah, I feel like you guys are like a satellite Breitbart guys, because this is like all my questions I'm asking people. It's the that is the big question, isn't it?
It is.
My vote is no. I don't think they have the ability to be introspective, and I think that those who choose to be introspective won't get enough ratings on their TV shows, or they won't get enough clicks on their websites, and so they will get shuffled off, and they will go back to accusing us all of being racist and sexist. And now what they're test driving MSNBC is are the black men and the Hispanic men racist and sexist?
Yeah.
Are they racist and sexist against each other, and they hate women? And it's like, sign me up for watching all that debate. Let's have that out. You guys don't fight that out.
I've seen Joy Reid on MSNBC just rage at her own people in her own community, race and gender. And then I'm seeing, celebrities, talk show hosts like Jimmy Kimmel cry on stage. So that tells me, no, the Democrats have not gotten any sort of message, and we'll just go back to calling people racist.
And this is where, and not to do a shameless plug, but to absolutely do a shameless plug, I finally returned to the microphone. I launched the Alex Marlo Show podcast. In my first episode, I explained this exact phenomenon, which is that but on our side, where after the 2012 shellacking that we got, where our punditry said the polls are wrong and Romney's going to win, and then Romney lost very badly to Barack Obama, despite Obama being very unpopular at the time, or relatively unpopular. The RNC told us that the problem was we didn't support amnesty for illegal aliens. And people in my wing of the movement, which now feels like the whole movement, to be honest with you, the Breitbart wing, we said, well, if that's your plan, then we're out. Or we're going to take over your party. And a civil war ensued, and Donald Trump and his movement won the Civil War. So they need to do that now and not have the anti-science, pro-trans, abortion is the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter how much inflation. It doesn't matter how many wars we start. We're recruiting the Cheneys now. All those people need to go if they want to have electoral success. And whatever Bill Clinton was doing in the 90s, that needs to come back. But they can't do that. I don't think they've got the discipline, at least for one election cycle.
And in terms of the discipline, I'm not seeing that on social media right now. Alex, one thing Nigel and I have been talking about is all of these bleeding hearts going on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, talking about what are we going to tell our daughters about this big, bulging orange man and his hateful rhetoric. Mind you, these are the same people who called us Hitler and Nazis and garbage for 4 straight years, but now they're concerned about the rhetoric.
Yeah, exactly right. It's so implausible to anyone paying attention. And I do think this solidifies some of our new converts, people who have came to the Republican Party during the Trump years that maybe didn't identify with the Bush-Cheney version of republicanism and are coming over. I'm lucky I get to surround myself with smart people as part of how I've tried to design my life. But there's a lot of smart women in my life, and they find that stuff very insulting. And they have daughters, and they are daughters, and they don't love hearing that condescension that if you don't support brain-dead Kamala Harris and brain-dead Joe Biden, that you're somehow anti-woman. It doesn't work for everyone, and I'm starting to wonder who it works on at all.
All right, enough about the Democrats here. Let's look forward here. Breitbart News editor Alex Marlo joining us. How do the Republicans move forward? What's Trump's first moves here?
Yeah, so he's got three big ones. Number one, he's got to close the border and undo all the stuff Biden did to undo him, which was Biden's whole game plan. It really cost Biden, but taking off Title 42, ending Remain in Mexico, stop working on the wall, abolishing those northern tribal agreements with Mexico, all that has got to go right back to where it was, and he's got to accelerate the pace on immigration. The next thing, energy independence. We've got to get every ounce of energy that we can produce on our own out of the ground, out of the air, out of the sky, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. It is obviously, I'm an oil and gas guy, I'm a fracking guy, all that stuff. I don't care how we get it. We got to drive down energy prices because that will drive down the price of everything else. And it'll also make the whole world come back to do business with us. I'm a big tariff guy too, so I would say a huge tariff guy, but I'm certainly pro-tariff. And if we're going to do that, some things are going to go up, which makes it even more imperative we get those energy prices down so overall people are seeing big reductions in what their expenditures are month to month, so investment can happen and people can start feeling good, and that's going to get people recruiting. And last but not least is he's got a badass cabinet. He's got to get the right people in there. He really struggled to staff up his government both at low and high levels at the start of his first administration. We cannot waste time now. We got a 4-year window for a golden age in America. He's got to have killers only in that cabinet, smart people who get stuff done and are fearless.
So what you're saying is the mooch might not be coming back. That's what you're telling me, Alex.
You know what? If he wants to be like a court jester, like come and amuse people, like he wear one of those old-timey hats with the bells on, like I think there could be a job for him there. I don't know how well that pays, but he should get the invite.
Hey, when you first left the microphone over a year and a half ago, I was stunned to learn that you had been doing your radio show from California, waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning and doing it at East Coast time. But you were up 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., so I can kind of understand why you left the mic, but now you are back with the Alex Marlo Show, in addition to your duties as Breitbart editor-in-chief. Tell us about the show.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think they work together. You guys know this. It makes you just a little sharper to be on the air. You have to. It's kind of easy for me to get the big picture, get the forest view from what I do as editor-in-chief of Breitbart. But I think it helps me as an editor because I get more of the trees because I can't go to air with half-hearted info. I got to get the solid facts. But I just love broadcasting. I love talking. That's how I work things out in my head as I talk them through. And it's so cruel to my poor wife just to only do it to her. So it made sense for me to eventually try to pursue getting back on the air. But in all seriousness, I do think I've got a unique pedigree in the news business, having worked for Andrew Breitbart, C-SPAN, and so many others who are the best that have ever been in this game. And I think I've got a voice that I think can hopefully expand what we're doing as a movement and entertain people. And so it's going to be tight. It's going to be probably 40, 45 minutes a day and a news-driven podcast. You're going to have fun like we do when I'm on the show, and it'll be 5 days a week wherever you get your podcasts.
Excellent. Breitbart News editor-in-chief, best-selling author, host of the Alex Marlo Show. Alex, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon. Good luck with the show.
Hey, congrats, guys. Thanks for all you do.
Of all weeks, this is the week to celebrate with a cold one, Nige.
Let's do it.
Beer Sample Friday next.
I'm a Window Nation customer, will always be a Window Nation customer. Love the job they did. They were in and out within a day, replacing a whole full front of the house with windows. Here's one of their customers, Albert, says, quote, great value, great product, and great customer service. Highly recommended.
Make 2025 the year that you take care of you. You take care of your house. And that starts with a phone call to Window Nation. Window Nation, the absolute best in the business. I know this. I'm a customer. They have an amazing deal. So if you want to get the best windows on the market, energy efficient, bad weather stays out, perfect climate stays in, heating and air bills go down, call 866-90-NATION. 50% off all style windows. 50% off and 0% interest for 60 months. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and believe it or not, the holidays are almost here. I know you really don't want to do it, but your carpets, floors, and furniture are screaming for a good cleaning. Your carpets are the biggest filter in your home, and they're loaded with deeply embedded dirt, dander, and allergens, not to mention pet stains and some of your stains, too. Here's a thought. Get rid of all that stuff. Right now, get 3 rooms zero resified starting at just $129 and $75 off air duct cleaning too. That's a $40 savings on carpet cleaning. The game changer is the patented ZR water that uses no soap, leaves no residue, and there are no harsh chemicals because they just aren't needed to get things really clean. That's why Zero Res is my go-to carpet cleaning company, because I know that there's nobody better. I just love these folks. Just call them, mention WIBC, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129, plus you get $75 off air duct cleaning too. Call 317-388-5141. Book things online at ZeroResIndy.com. That's ZeroResIndy.com.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
A true partner in your health dedicates time to understanding your needs. At CenterWell Senior Primary Care, doctors make one-on-one time with you a priority, so you can get all your questions answered and feel more confident in your health care. See how it feels to have a team of senior care experts working together to help you feel your best. CenterWell, it's about time. Schedule a tour today at meetcenterwell.com. That's meetcenterwell.com.
Reach your fitness goals in 2024 with the 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
BW HVAC Plumbing and Electrical is here to make the fall cozy, comfortable, and hassle-free. Go to b+w.com/radio to schedule your appointment today. B&W is your independent American Standard air dealer.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Join Tony Katz and Fingers Malloy for a live Eat, Drink, Smoke show at Nikki Blaine's Cocktail Lounge on Saturday, November 9th from 4 to 6 p.m., courtesy of Hotel Tango Distillery.
More info online at WIBC.com.
All right, coming up in just a moment, we will kick off the weekend with Beer Sample Friday. But first, Alan Green is going to get you where you need to be.
Hey guys, 465 southbound is still heavy from Washington to 74. And look out for an accident on 70. This is eastbound before Belmont. The right lane is blocked there. 465 northbound slows Pendleton Pike to 75th. Westbound 465 still taps the brakes between Michigan and the Dog Lake. This report brought to you by B Window. Don't miss the annual B Window Black Friday sale. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% of manufacturer's rebates and no payments, no interest for 20 months. Now proud to be employee-owned. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on X for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
It is 60 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, and it's Beer Sample Friday!
Right now,
Hammer and Nigel present Beer Sample
Fry.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beers on sale, people. Come down.
Get you some. Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. They're paying for this. But
Spencer and the gang are awesome.
Yeah, they're great. But who paid for the beer this time is a fan of the show. Also, semi-friend of the show. He's an acquaintance. We all know the official mailman of the Hammer and Nigel show, right?
He had a fantastic appearance on our program once, and we said that was going to be his only appearance on this program.
Right. It's Justin out in, Hendricks County, we'll just say.
Yes.
So his coworker, Jeff, is getting ready to retire.
Okay.
Jeff brought us He went to, I'm going to just slide this over to you.
Okay, I'm going to come get it.
He likes to go to Oktoberfest overseas in Germany, and he likes to go to Wisconsin. He brought us a select beer from Wisconsin, La Crosse, Wisconsin, brewed and canned at the Pearl Street Brewery. If you would, mention the beer we're about to try here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Thank you, Jeff.
Well, the name of this beer is something that rhymes with hitty. And it's usually a negative term to describe something that's not good.
SH*TTY light beer.
Rhymes with hitty light beer.
Now, this is from Pearl Street Brewery, La Crosse, Wisconsin. And apparently this is a very good light beer. But there's a whole story behind it. I read about it.
It's also how the grounds crew described the Cleveland Indians in the movie Major League. Yeah. They're still blank.
So this is a brewery, but they did their own version of a light beer. Gosh, I want to say it, but I can't.
No, please don't. I enjoy this job.
And that is a very good light beer. It is the opposite of the
It's not
description.
hitty at all.
It's not hitty. It's very good. There, it's up on the YouTube chat.
I've had way worse than
Thank you, Jeff.
this hitty beer. Again, YouTube audience, you absolutely understand what we're talking
This
about
guy
here.
Jeff's getting ready to retire from the post office. He's got like 2 houses. He goes to Oktoberfest in Germany. He goes to Wisconsin. I should have become a mailman, man. It's ridiculous. He brought us a bunch of beers, so we're good for the next couple weeks.
The weekend is underway in Indianapolis. It's Beer Sample Friday. Top stories next.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, over 3 million people called Morgan & Morgan in their time of need. And with over 1 million of those calls coming from previous clients, friends, and family.
My name is Jason Williams. It was a rainy day, and I'd gotten hit from behind by a lady that was doing somewhere over 100 miles an hour is what they were saying. I've never dealt with anything like this before. Everybody that I talked to kept saying the same name, which was Morgan & Morgan. I was on hold for maybe 15 seconds. When they come back and said, Jason, we will absolutely take your case. As a non-tech savvy guy, any question that I had, if I called, text, or emailed, they got right back to me. They made it as easy for me as it could have been.
Thank you for trusting us. We've become the largest injury firm in the world because we've won a lot. The word is out. Size matters. Reputation matters. We're America's largest injury law firm for a reason. With over 900 dedicated attorneys and climbing, we're ready wherever you are, whatever you need. The choice is easy. We're just a phone call away. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Do not miss the World Food Championships happening